Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's pick a card, we are going to be finding out how the person that you are thinking of is feeling about you. And this is going to be a very detailed one. I'm super excited to get into it. But just before we do, I want to give a huge thank you to Caryn, who is sponsoring today's video. So just in case you guys are not familiar with Caryn yet, they are a huge network of vetted psychics and spiritual advisors who are there to answer any questions you may have. The sign up process is super easy. You just answer a few simple questions about yourself and the type of guidance that you are looking for, and then Caryn will match you with advisors they think would be the best fit for you. If you guys were following my channel last year, which by the way, thank you if you were, you will know that I was using Caryn quite a bit because I was going through a pretty tough transition in my life, and it was really reassuring for me to get advice. So I made it through that transition in my life. Everything was okay, and now we're in the new chapter of my life, and what do you know, the new chapter is also a lot. What I love about the advisors that I speak to on Caryn is that they are quick with their readings, so they get straight to the point. They tell me everything I need to know, and they are very honest. That's the style that I like. Honest, to the point. If it's good, if it's bad, I want to know about it. So for example, in my recent reading with an advisor who was named Simone, I got the Tower for my current energy, which, like, okay, yeah. But my future energy was the King of Swords, which I was really happy about. Whatever chaos I am going through right now, I know that I'm going to become mature from it. I'm going to learn how to overcome it. I'm going to learn how to manage my emotions. And on the topic of advisors, there are so many different advisors out there. They have different specialties like tarot and astrology, or different areas of life that they specialize on, such as love and relationships or career. And there are many different price ranges as well, depending on which advisor you go with. So you're sure to find something that will fit into your budget. There are advisors online literally 24/7. Whenever you go on, there will be someone available to talk to you, and you can also choose between speaking on the phone with them or chatting with them. I personally prefer the chat option because I tend to get kind of nervous on the phone, and I don't want to be nervous when I'm getting a reading, so chat is the one that works for me. Caryn also loves sending discounts to their users, so every week they will send you an email with discounts that you can use. And for new users, they are offering their first 10 minutes for just $1.99, which is crazy. Just for some reference, when I do readings on chat, it doesn't even go to 10 minutes. So I can say from experience that you will at least get one full reading for that price, for $1.99. So if you guys are interested in that offer and in giving Caryn a try, you can use my link, which will be here on the screen, and it will also be down below in the description box as well as the pinned comment. It is trycaryn.com/Kino. Kino. So thank you very, very much to Caryn for sponsoring today's video. It's always a pleasure, and thank you so much to you guys for listening to that. I truly appreciate your support, and now let's get on to the reading. Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today's pick a card is going to be a how they're feeling about you reading, and I think I'm going to do this in a similar format as the last time I did this video. So basically, we're gonna look at the energy of the connection between you and the person you are asking about, and then we're gonna see how they're feeling about you in their head, so their thoughts about you, in their heart, so their emotions towards you, as well as in their soul, so basically how their higher self thinks and feels towards you. And then we're also gonna see what this person's intentions are for the future of this connection, as well as any actions that they would be taking towards you in the reasonable future, if any. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. There are 4 readings for you guys to choose from today. I'm going to show you each of the crystals one by one, and please pick whichever one or ones you feel called to the most. It's totally fine if you feel drawn to more than one, because there could be messages for you in multiple readings, or you may feel called to ask about multiple people today. It's totally up to you. But without further ado, let's give you a close-up look at each of your options. Number 1 is Caribbean Calcite. Number 2 is Fuchsite. Number 3 is Opalite. And number 4 is Rose Quartz. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones, so if you guys chose the Caribbean Calcite, this is going to be your reading. So just to quickly break down how this reading is going to go, we're going to start off by looking at the energies of this connection. So your energy, the energy of the person you're asking about, and the energies that exist between the two of you. And then we're going to get into the deep dive of this person's feelings for you. So we're going to see how they're feeling about you in their head, in their heart, as well as in their soul. And we're also going to see what their intentions are when it comes to this connection and what their future actions are going to be. So whether they're going to take any actions towards you in the reasonable future, and if so, what? And then we will close off the reading with any additional messages or advice that you need to know. So let's get right into it. There's a few different decks I want to use for this initial energy check, but I'm going to be shuffling everything on camera today. Well, except for the oracle decks at the end, because there's like 6 different decks. So, but this part I'm going to be shuffling on camera. Okay, so what we're going to see with this deck is the energy of your connection. So what does the connection look like between group 1 and the person they're asking about? We have the 3 of Swords, the 2 of Cups, and the Emperor. Okay, I think it's interesting that we have the numbers 2, 3, and 4 coming out here. That might be a significant number for you guys. Could be something like the ages of 23 and 24, or if you guys see angel numbers that are like ascending, you know, like 1 2 3, 1 2 3 4, 2 3 4, it could be a message about this connection. Numbers like this make me think of like steady progress is being made, so it is a positive sign. And then we have the Moon and Strength. And we also have, this is the 4 of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is really painting a picture. Basically, the way I'm looking at this spread is that we have one person's energy over here, one person's energy over here, and this represents like the energy in between the two of you. I'll call this like the Moon person and the Strength person. You guys might feel like you resonate more with the Moon person or more with the Strength person, but you may also feel like you kind of resonate with both, which is totally fine. If you do feel your energy on both sides, this is probably an indicator that you and the person you're asking about are mirroring each other quite closely in your emotions towards each other and your experience of this connection. However, if you can't really see yourself or your person in either side, then this may not be your group. So it's just something to keep in mind. I'll also mention that we have Pisces energy on this side and Leo. I don't know why that took me so long. And Leo energy on this side. Also, with the 4 of Pentacles, we have a bit of Capricorn energy here. And with the 10 of Pentacles, we have Virgo, I want to say. Yeah, a little bit of Virgo energy here. So this could be confirmation if you or your person have these signs, but you definitely don't have to. I just wanted to mention those. So first of all, one thing that I just want to say very, very clearly is that I am seeing 2 people who care about each other a lot and 2 people who are quite compatible and who complement each other very, very well. The 2 of Cups right off the bat gave me that feeling, and the Emperor as well. when we get this kind of energy in a connection, you know, the Emperor is very sturdy. The Emperor is very solid. And it often makes me think of the phrase like, I'm not going anywhere. Or this connection is not going anywhere. And I don't mean that in the sense of like, it's not making progress, but that, you know, the bond that we have is not going to change. It's not going to fade away. It's not going to go anywhere. I think that this is someone who will be in your life for a very long time, or like the influence, the impact that they have on you will last for a very, very long time. You know, with the Emperor being a major arcana, it does feel like this is a very significant person in your life. I could even translate the Emperor as like, you guys are building an empire together, or like there's the potential for that in the future, especially because we literally have buildings on the Emperor card in this deck. There could also be something about you guys being in the same city with this. So maybe you guys have the same hometown, or if you are long distance or come from different places, this could be like hinting in the future that you guys will end up in the same place soon. Like you'll end up living in the same place, or working or studying in the same place. So what I'm seeing really clearly is that the Moon person looks up to the Strength person so much. I think that the energies of these people are very similar, but it's like, you guys might not realize that just yet, because I think the way that you present on the outside might be kind of different. The Moon person sees the Strength person as very strong, obviously, but someone who really has their stuff together. The Moon person would say that the Strength person really has it together, is doing very, very well for themselves, is very mature, is very responsible. The Strength person has this kind of aspirational energy for the Moon person. So it's like, not only do I want to be with you, but I want to be like you. You know, I want to get my stuff together and be like you, or I want to live a life similar to yours. I feel like the Strength person really, really inspires the Moon person. Now, what I saw that made me feel a little bit sad for the Moon person is this Three of Swords card here. This is a card that talks about sadness or pain or heartbreak. And I really do feel like this Moon person is hurting. It could be concerns that they have about this connection, or it could just be something that they're going through mentally. You know, with the Moon energy here, this is a very sensitive soul, and I do often see with the Moon as well as the Three of Swords, this can be somebody who is prone to anxiety, or someone who, you know, is kind of hard on themselves and tends to worry about the future. It could also tend to worry about their importance in other people's lives, and like tend to worry if they're good enough. But what really stood out to me with the Three of Swords in this deck is that the person is pointing the sword towards themselves. And so it's almost illustrating this image of like, when I'm sad, when I'm going through it, I just have to deal with it myself. And you know, looking at this Three of Swords, we can also see that there's two swords pointed to the person's back, and this might be indicating that this person has been backstabbed before. You know, for example, they were struggling, they were dealing with some insecurities, they were going through it in some way, and you know, they found it in them to be vulnerable and open up to somebody close to them, only to get betrayed in some way. So maybe this was like, that person went off and told everyone what the Moon person said, or that person you know, took note of that insecurity and then used it against them at a later time. So there's this feeling that the Moon person has, like, if I'm struggling, if I'm going through it, I just got to deal with it myself so I don't get backstabbed, or I just got to deal with it myself so I don't burden somebody else. And I think what might be going on a little bit in this connection too is, you know, the Moon person looking at the Strength person and saying like, wow, they're so amazing, they have so much going for them, they're living such an amazing life. Like, I don't want to put this burden on them, or I don't want to trouble them with this thing that I'm going through. And so I feel like the Moon person puts on a brave face to be around the Strength person and acts like acts like everything is okay. I just heard like the, you know, the cool girl, the cool girlfriend. You don't have to be a girl, or the moon person doesn't have to be a girl. But you know, that I think it's like an archetype of like the cool girlfriend who's like, you know, she really feels like her needs aren't being met, but she's just like, everything is fine, because she doesn't want to be like needy or demanding. Or yeah, definitely like you or your person don't have to be a girl, but I'm just getting that vibe of like someone is putting on a brave face because maybe they feel they can't open up about their needs, or doing that is going to burden the connection somehow. So it's like, it's very internalized. It's like, I'll just deal with it myself. And I feel like, you know, looking up to the strength person so much and seeing them as this like perfect person who has it all going well for them, who has it all figured out, I feel like that's not helping either. And it's kind of sad for me to see, because I see the Two of Cups. I see how deeply these two people care about each other, and I see that if the moon person were only to open up, that the strength person would receive any emotions that they want to share with open arms, and they would say, I'm not going anywhere. And I think that's why the Emperor is here, to really emphasize that I'm not going anywhere, let's work through this together. And I feel like the strength person is saying like, I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid of any, oh, I just saw 1111. I'm not afraid of any, and this is card number 11, of any challenges that we will face together. You know, the strength card, this little kitty is facing demons, facing this huge dragon with love and compassion, and is not afraid. I think the strength person has faced their fair share of insecurities and their fair share of demons, and I think that there's nothing that can scare them. And they might be going through stuff as well. And I think the moon person maybe has this kind of skewed image of like, you know, I'm the one who's messed up, I'm the one who's hurting, and the strength person is the one who has it all together. And I think that that's not true, because first of all, nobody has it all put together. Anybody who's coming off like they have it all together and they have it all figured out, it's an illusion, it's fake. And you know, the strength person might be very good at holding it together, but I'm sure that they also have things that they're struggling through, and they also have things that they could open up to the moon person about. And so I think what this connection really wants or really needs is vulnerability. And I know that each person, like, if the other person opened up to them, they would welcome that, and they would have so much compassion, and they would say, let's work through this together. The strength card also makes me think of like best friends when it comes to a relationship reading. It's like, you're my best friend, we got this. I've been like really into ABBA recently and I'm thinking of the song Chiquitita, when she says, Chiquitita, tell me the truth, I'm a shoulder you can cry on, your best friend, I'm the one you must rely on. I feel like these two people should rely on each other more. Like, I'm your best friend, you can cry on my shoulder, it's okay. This is the kind of vibe that I'm getting. Oh, and I want to say as well, the Four of Pentacles is also a really, really strong indicator of someone who's like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to let go. And I think that, you know, this candle is representing a flame that is burning slowly and steadily. And a star is representative of a promising future. So I feel such a sweet energy coming from these two people, and I just wish the best for them. And I really hope that this moon person could stop hurting, or at the very least could open up about what is hurting them, because I know that it will be received well. And I don't know, maybe you feel like a little bit of both energies, like you have your things that you're hurting about, but you also have the capacity to, you know, hear the other person out and hear what's bothering them and be there for them. I just think, yeah, this connection needs a little bit more openness, a little bit more vulnerability. Oh, and I also wanted to roll the astro dice for this part. So we have Mars energy, we have Cancer energy, and we have First house energy. Okay, interesting. So one or both people in this connection has kind of based their identity off of like helping others or fixing others or caring for other people. You know, the first house talks about our identity, how we present to others, what we put at the forefront of our personality. And then Mars is all about like willpower and taking action, being like proactive or taking initiative about something. And then Cancer is like nurturing others, protecting. Cancer energy is very loyal as well. So it could be that somebody in this connection is like, oh, there's no time to talk about my stuff because I just have to help everybody else. I just have to take care of everybody else. There could be a little bit of that going on. It could be both of you guys who are in this energy and need to learn how to create a space where you can receive and you can be listened to and you can be nurtured. Yeah, this is what the connection needs for sure. All right, so let's get into the tarot now. And so this is our deep dive into your person's feelings for you. This deck is so hard to shuffle because she's very thick. Okay, there we go. So for group number 1, okay, so we're gonna start off with a card to see how they're feeling for you in their head. So we have the Ace of Crystals. This is the Ace of Pentacles. How they're feeling about you in their heart. We have the Seven of Cups. How they're feeling about you in their soul. We have the Lovers. Their intentions in this connection. The Six of Wands. And then future actions towards you in the reasonable future. The Seven of Swords. Okay, so first of all, we do have some Gemini energy here. Oh, and then I just want to point out we have Knight of Swords energy at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so I will just go through these in order. It's interesting. We're starting off with their thoughts towards you, where their head is at when it comes to this connection. And we have a Pentacles card, which makes me think of like practical action, because Pentacles is the suit that deals with like tangible things that you can touch, that are right in front of you, something materializing in the 3D. So when we have this in the space talking about someone's thoughts, I do think that this person is very actively thinking about their future with you, thinking about what they want to do with you, and thinking about presenting some sort of offer to you. When I see the Ace of Pentacles in a relationship reading, it's like you are getting some sort of offer from this person. And I always like to kind of clarify that this offer is not just words, this offer is not just intentions, this offer is not just emotions. It's like this offer is actually going to change the nature of your 3D relationship, or change your relationship status. So like this would be an offer to enter into a committed relationship, or if you're already with this person, it's like an offer to move things to the next level, an offer to reconcile, like something that, you know, actually changes what you are to each other, changes your status with each other, or changes the way you interact with each other. It's something like this. So, you know, when it comes to this person's thoughts about you, I really see that that's something that is heavily on their mind. Aces talk about new beginnings, so I definitely think that this person wants some kind of new start with you, wants things to move to a new level. And Pentacles also make me think of something that is sustainable and slow and steady. there was, you know, a lot of pentacle energy in your energy check. And then we also had the Emperor card, which mirrors that sort of like, oh, I should have mentioned the Emperor card is Aries energy. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. So we have Cancer, Leo, Aries, and Gemini. And then I also said Capricorn and Virgo with these two cards here. But yes, there's a lot of emphasis in this reading of, you know, this energy being very stable, of this energy not going anywhere. So this is definitely someone who sees a future with you, and not only that, is thinking about, you know, concrete actions that they can take to make this happen. Now, when we get over to the emotion part, we have the Seven of Cups here, and this is a card that can talk about a feeling of being overwhelmed or a feeling of being confused. And when I sit with the energy of this card, the first thing that actually comes to my mind is that this person might feel a little bit confused when it comes to how you feel about them, or when it comes to what you want from them, or when it comes to what your future holds together. If I can just give a hypothetical example based on like what I saw here, it could be something like, let's say you are the person who is afraid to open up because you don't want to get hurt and you're kind of holding back. And then from your position, you're thinking like, this will make things easier for my person because I'm not going to bother them with these messy or complicated emotions, and this is going to keep the harmony in our connection. So this is what is best for our connection. But on their end, the way that they're seeing it is like, I can kind of tell that something is bothering group one, but they're not opening up about it. So I don't know, like maybe we're not quite there yet that they feel comfortable to open up around me, or maybe I did something to upset them. It's like they could feel that something is off. And whereas you might be thinking, me not opening up is helping this connection because it's keeping things like light and breezy, they're thinking like, I want to know what's bothering them. I wish that they felt comfortable to open up. So it's like something is getting lost in translation where, you know, again, that was a hypothetical example. It might be something different in your case, but I feel like you might be behaving in a certain way because you think that's going to make things easier for your person, or that's, you know, going to make the connection more like drama free or less heavy or something like that. But the way it's translating to them is like, oh, okay, we're not at that level yet where we can deal with these things. Maybe group one isn't that comfortable enough with me yet, or something like that. So there's something, I think, in the way you're behaving towards them that's getting lost in translation, and then they're a little bit like confused if you're really ready for this, or if you're really wanting this. It could also be, this could also be something related to external circumstances. It could be maybe there's some things that are up in the air right now when it comes to where they're going to be in the future or where you're going to be in the future. So, you know, while they feel very sure about your compatibility, and they feel very sure about wanting something with you, if things are up in the air, that could leave them feeling a little bit uneasy right now. So when it comes to their emotions, it just, things are a little bit uneasy, a little bit confused, or a little bit overwhelmed right now. So, wow, moving on to how they feel about you spiritually, how their soul and their higher self feels about you, we have the Lovers, which I think is a very, very powerful card to have here. This shows me that this person does feel a very, very close spiritual bond to you. If you guys like resonate with soulmate labels, or you care about that kind of stuff, I do think that this is a strong indicator of that kind of connection. But I also feel that the Lovers can talk about having some type of psychic connection, or having some type of telepathy with somebody. So this person could feel like you guys are just really on the same wavelength, and you know, that you really get each other, or that you're very similar on a soul level. I feel like this person's higher self feels very, very close to you. And I also think that this person's higher self has been guiding them through this situation. Their higher self would definitely be encouraging them to open up to you and encouraging you to open up to them. I feel like your higher selves are very, very close. Whether they met in this lifetime or before that, it doesn't matter. I just see that they really have taken a very, very close liking to each other, and they're like this. And it's so sweet because we also had the Strength card, which for me is like indicative of best friends, and I definitely feel like your higher selves are best friends. And you know, this is Gemini energy, this is a sign of communication, so I think your higher selves are also in very, very frequent communication. And I think that a lot of, like, if you guys notice a lot of signs and synchronicities throughout your day or in your dreams, in your waking or sleeping life, I feel like a lot of them do come from this person's higher self. So, you know, this I'm not going anywhere, I'm right here, this stable energy, I think that that definitely carries over to the relationship between your souls, which is really, really sweet to see. So when it comes to this person's intentions for you, here we have the Six of Wands. So, you know, I already saw that this person had intentions for your future and was thinking about that a lot. It's really nice to see the Six of Wands here, because this talks about a victory. It talks about a positive outcome, things working out in your favor. And I really like to see this kind of card after we have observed a sort of difficult energy, because this tells me where your person is at in relation to this difficulty. Because, you know, when we're presented with a struggle like this, we can either let it defeat us and, you know, let it define the connection, or we can say, I'm willing to rise to the challenge. I'm willing to stand up to this difficulty and work past it to make things work with you. And I'm seeing that your person is very much of the latter mindset. So yes, this confusion is here. Yes, this uncertainty is here, but I have every intention of figuring this out. I have every intention of overcoming this, and I want to be victorious with you. The number 6 also, it talks about unions, it talks about coming together, and it talks about love. And the Six of Wands also, it makes me think of something being official, because it has that meaning of like people are watching you, people are admiring you. So, you know, the way I would translate that in a reading like this is that someone wants to make things official with you. And we've already seen with the Ace of Pentacles that this person wants to make you like a solid offer. So yeah, like this person wants to come together with you and make things official. There's also a kind of vibe in here. It's like, I want to show off our connection. So I want to tell people in my life that we're together. I want to show you off. It's this vibe of like, I'm very, very proud to have you in my life. And I would be very, very proud to be with you. And I don't know, like if you guys are resonating with like one side or the other or both, but I feel like there is this mutual, like really looking up to each other. And honestly, just like crushing on each other, like thinking the other person is so amazing, and really, really looking up to them. And I think on a soul level, your souls can tell that you're quite similar. But I think on a 3D level, you guys, you see a lot of amazing traits in each other, but also need to recognize that those amazing traits are in you too, and that they make you awesome and amazing too. But yeah, this is a really, really sweet energy. So this person, like, I can say with a lot of confidence that this person intends to make a move towards you and make an offer towards you and have things work out nicely. Now, when it comes to their actions towards you in the foreseeable future, we have the Seven of Swords. And then I kind of wanted to clarify this energy, because the Seven of Swords is one of those cards I feel like can go in so many different ways. And to clarify, we had the Knight of Swords. And I think it's kind of interesting too that these swords are like raining down, but there's one that's kind of standing out from the rest. There's definitely going to be a lot of communication coming from this person in the foreseeable future. Probably sooner than you think, because we have 2 swords cards, and swords are like very fastest of the suits. And often it indicates to me like something's happening sooner than you think. So the Knight of Swords in this kind of reading, it does show someone is coming forward and they have a lot to say. But with the 7 of Swords here, I think a lot of what this person is going to say to you is like not what you're expecting, because the 7 of Swords has this energy of like, you're not seeing the full truth of the situation. And I remember this one time getting a personal reading. This was like, oh my God, a year and a half ago? Yeah, I think like exactly a year and a half ago. I had like a person of interest at the time, and the reader pulled out this card and said, oh, like there's a lot that you don't know about this person. And I feel like that's the last sword. It's like, I feel like most of what they say you're expecting, and that's what these 6 swords are representing. And then this extra sword that's like raining down here, it's like, oh wow, I really didn't expect you to say that. And I just heard like they're dropping some kind of bomb on you. I don't think it's I don't think it's a bad thing in the sense of like it makes you think badly of them, but it could be something about them, about their past, or about something they're going through, or about who they are that kind of shocks you or kind of makes you sad for them. Like they were struggling with something that you didn't know about, or they had, something bad from their past that you didn't know about. I think it is something that could shock you, because the 7 of Swords is not always like, well, no, it's pretty much not a super happy card. But I think they're going to be so set on just removing this confusion and removing this uncertainty and just getting everything out in the open that they just spill everything. It's like they just want to, I heard like they're fed up, not with you, but just with the uncertainty, and they just want to lay all of their cards out on the table and like, I want you to know everything now, because I don't want these things to pop up in the future and, if they're a deal breaker, to ruin things later. So I just want to get everything out now. And, it makes sense together, because I often see with the Knight of Swords, it's like I'm spilling all of this stuff out, and now I want to know what you think. And so I often feel called to tell the group when this card comes up, like, make sure you know that you can take your time to process everything, and you can take your time to think things through, like before you make your decision or before you come back to this person, because they are going to be, coming at you with a lot to say. But because of the image of this card, it makes me think of like coming clean. The 7 of Swords can talk about deception, but because the swords are like straight and it looks like they're raining down, swords do talk about truth and clarity. So maybe there were some things that this person was like hiding in the past, or they weren't like completely truthful about in the past, and now they're like coming clean about everything. I just heard like lying by omission. So I don't know if they were like actively lying to you, or there just might have been some things that they were indirect about, or that they didn't really touch on. But now they want to like be very open about everything. And like I said, I think most of the stuff you kind of already knew, or you kind of already felt about them. But I think there could be one thing that is just kind of surprising. Like I wouldn't have expected that you went through something like that, or that you had something like that in your past, or that you're like, you think this way about relationships or something, there's something kind of unexpected there. So yeah, I think it would be important, even though I feel like this is coming soon, very soon, and that it could be kind of sudden, I do feel that it's important to take your time and just really think about everything that they've shared with you. So I think now I want to move on to the final part of this reading. So we're going to take a look at our oracle cards from various different decks to get any additional messages or advice that you guys might need. I might have to like stack these on top of each other. So I'm gonna do that. Okay. So the first card that we have is the Sacred Union, beloved within, inner and outer relationships. Yeah, I feel quite good about this connection, honestly. Like we have the Two of Cups, we have the Lovers, we have the Sacred Union, beloved within, inner and outer relationships. Because you guys have a very close relationship in the 3D, I think, as well as amongst your higher selves. We also have pleasure, and I'm noticing we have the number 10 here, which talks about new beginnings coming. Enjoyment, beauty, sensuality, indulgence. So there could be a lot of like passion in this connection, or a lot of like sexual energy in this connection. I think this could also be indicating that, you know, being very brutally honest with each other and getting all of your like skeletons out of the closet. It could, and maybe there's some things that you know, some skeletons that you want to get out of your closet and some demons that you want to release. But I feel like what this could be saying too is that, you know, this process might be kind of uncomfortable, but once you get through this, it's opening the door for like a lot more pleasurable intimacy. I don't know, it just like opens some floodgate in you, or it opens some door in you that allows you to be a lot more intimate with each other. Emotionally, physically, sexually, but I'm definitely feeling like a physical or sexual vibe from this card. So it's like the more brutally honest you are with each other and the more you face your fears, when you connect physically, I don't know, it's just like, it's that much more powerful because you feel that much more bonded to each other. Wow, we also have romantic feelings. We're getting hit with some really, really powerful cards here. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Then we have work through your fears with the new moon in Scorpio. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. This makes a lot of sense. With the new moon in Scorpio here, this could be indicating that I think the end of October is when we're going to have a new moon in Scorpio. And then we also have the number 10 here. So, you know, that could be indicating the month of October. That could be a significant time for this connection. I don't know when this video is going to be up, but I feel like October is going to still be a little bit of a ways away when this video is up. So, if you're watching this around the time that this video was uploaded, I don't think that October is referring to when this is going to happen, like this conversation, because this feels like it's going to be quite soon. But late October might be like just, you know, the time of a significant development, a significant milestone, a significant change in this connection. So just something to remember, to make a little note of. We have balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Yeah, I think that, you know, and I've mentioned this before, so I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but I think that you and this person are actually a lot more similar than you realize. And I feel like you do mirror each other in a lot of different ways. And I think that it's like you guys are both scared of being vulnerable, like with the Scorpio energy as well, scared of being vulnerable or scared of opening up. But I see that you guys would, you know, meet each other's fears or insecurities or demons with so much compassion. Even if they seem scary, even if they seem so much bigger than you, I feel like you would demonstrate so much compassion and understanding and gentleness to each other. And I feel like that's what this is talking about. Like, we're going to talk through this, we're going to work through this and reach our perfect state of harmony. And we're gonna do this without judging each other. It's like, you guys may be afraid of judgment from the other person, but I feel like you have nothing but love and compassion towards each other. Like, you judge yourselves much harder than you would judge the other person. So for this final oracle card, because this is the Angel Answers oracle card, these are meant to like answer questions. So if you guys feel called to, you don't have to do this, but if there's like a certain question that is on your mind with regards to this connection, you could think about it right now, and then we'll like reveal what this card is and see what the answer to your question is. So think about your question, and your answer is let go. So the answer to your question could be that you need to let go of whatever you asked about, or let go of expectations, or the answer will come to you when you stop searching or when you stop trying so much. So group number 1, these are all the messages that I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in checking out the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel will be linked down below for you as well. Group number 1, I'm sending much love to you, much love to your person as well, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number 2s, so if you guys chose the Fuchsite, this is going to be your reading. So just to quickly break down how this reading is going to go, we're going to start by taking a look at the energies of this connection. So your energy, the energy of the person you're asking about, and the energy that exists between the two of you. And then we're going to go into the deep dive of how this person is feeling. So we're going to see how they're feeling in their head, in their heart, as well as in their soul towards you and the connection. And then we're also going to see what their intentions are towards the connection, and if there are any actions that they will be taking towards you in the reasonable future. And then we'll close off the reading with any additional messages or advice that you guys may need to hear. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to start off with the Transparent Tarot to get our first look at the energy of this connection. So for group number 2, what does the connection look like between group number 2 and the person they're asking about? So to start off, we have the 5 of Wands. We also have the World. And the 7 of Wands. Okay, so the first thing I want to point out is this World card. Now, generally in a love or relationship, any reading about a connection, basically, the World does tend to make me think of reciprocated feelings. But we also have the 5 of Wands and the 7 of Wands here, which are cards that kind of talk about conflict or, struggling through a difficult situation. And the way this energy is coming across to me is like, it seems like someone is kind of confused about where this connection is at, or confused about the other person's intentions, because it's like someone has said that their feelings are reciprocated. Someone has said that they're into the other person, that they're into this connection, that they're happy with the way things are. But then maybe their actions seem to tell a different story. Because with the World in this deck, I don't know, just something about this spiral is making me think of confusion, and it's also making me think of like going in circles. You know, the world is supposed to be a card that talks about completion and fulfillment, but it feels like maybe the dynamic of this connection is like we're going in circles, we're not going anywhere, and it's like one person is saying, I'm into you, I'm into this connection, I'm happy with the way things are, but the other person is saying, I'm into you, I'm into this connection, and it's for that reason that I want things to progress. So there's like a little bit of a conflict there. And I feel like there's one person who is really carrying the burden of this confusion on their own. With the Five of Wands here, normally we would see a bunch of people fighting, right? Like if you're familiar with the Five of Wands in the Rider-Waite, for example, we see 5 people and they all have their own stick and they're fighting with each other. And so this Five of Wands person, it's like I have all this confusion, I have all this inner conflict, but I feel like I'm just fighting by myself. Or I have resistance to the way things are, but I'm going through this by myself. And the Seven of Wands has a similar feeling as well. You know, we see this one person having to fight off all of these sticks on their own. So, you know, this could be a situation where the person who is confused has confronted the other person about it, and they're like, well, I'm happy with the way things are. Like I enjoy spending time with you, and almost making them feel like, oh, like I shouldn't even have brought it up. I'm gonna pull a couple more cards to see what's going on, but there's this feeling of like, if we feel the same way about each other, if the feelings are reciprocated, then why do I feel like this is one-sided? Or if things are reciprocated, why isn't this moving forward? Because it's like someone wants to move things forward, but someone else is just going in circles. Okay, so we have the Emperor and Justice, and I'm gonna pull a card from this deck as well. Here we have the Nine of Wands. And here we have the Six of Swords. Okay, so we have Aries energy here as well as Libra energy. And then this Six of Swords is making me think of Cancer because we do have a crab on it. So Cancer energy could be significant as well. I think it's very interesting that we have Aries and Libra energy because they are sister signs. So they are like opposites. It could be that you and this person are sister signs. You definitely don't have to be, but I feel like there's this energy being emphasized that you guys are opposites in some ways, or that you are different in some ways. And we even have the numbers 9 and 6, which are, you know, opposites of each other, because 9 is like an upside down 6. So yeah, it kind of feels like maybe these two people are wanting different things. It's like they both care about each other, but they want the relationship to look a different way. Aries energy is very much like the initiator, the action taker, the one who wants to move things forward, whereas Libra energy tends to be more like, I'll do what you want to do, I'll go with the flow. So I feel like there could be a dynamic here where I don't think the Justice person is rejecting the Emperor person by any means, but they might be taking a more passive role in the connection. So it could be that, you know, the Emperor person is always the one to initiate things. Like they're always the one to initiate a conversation, or they're always the one to say like, when do you want to hang out? When can I see you next? And I think that, you know, the majority of the time they do get a positive response from the Justice person. So, you know, if they initiate a conversation, the Justice person will respond and they'll have a nice exchange. Or, you know, if the Emperor person wants to see the Justice person will be open to that. Like, oh yeah, I'm happy I'm happy to see you, I'm happy to hang out with you. So I don't think the issue is like any sort of rejection. I think it really boils down to like, who is initiating, who is the one who's putting in the effort. And I think when it comes to the Justice person's feelings and intentions, it's like they're showing the Emperor person, or they're telling the Emperor person that they feel the same way. But then when it comes to actually showing up, or when it comes to initiating, I feel like the Justice person is kind of lacking. And I think that the Justice person is being truthful when they say that they're into the Emperor person, but maybe they just have a different style of going about relationships. Maybe they just have more of a laid back way, or even is maybe just more in a non-committal kind of energy, because the Justice person tends to, you know, this is Libra energy, and I'm thinking of the shadow side of Libra energy, which can be kind of indecisive, which can be kind of flaky at times. And so maybe the Justice person is in a bit more of a non-committal energy, like, I enjoy being with you, I have fun with you, I like you as a person, but is not really putting in efforts to commit to the Emperor person. With the Six of Swords here, you know, generally this does have a positive energy because it shows like an easy breezy situation, but this person could kind of be an avoidant type. Like maybe they avoid conflict or they avoid confrontation. So if the Emperor person is confronting them about like, hey, I just want to know where you stand, I want to know how you feel about me, because sometimes I feel like you're not initiating, that could make the Justice person kind of uncomfortable. And I could see the Justice person kind of like, rather than directly saying to the Emperor person, like, I don't want a commitment with you, they would like try to avoid that kind of conflict, or avoid that kind of confrontation and keep things comfortable. So they'd say like, no, I am into you, I do like hanging out with you, I like the way things are right now, I like being in this connection with you, and sort of focus on the positive aspect and try to keep things breezy like that. But I think that the Justice person might be doing more harm than good in this situation, because I think the Emperor person wants some kind of movement, wants some kind of action, wants some kind of initiative taken from the Justice person, whereas they're taking more of a let's just keep things easy, and I feel like it's kind of keeping things in the air, or maybe leaving the Emperor person hanging. Now, we do have the Nine of Wands here on the Emperor person side, and so I think that the Emperor person is probably not satisfied with the way things are right now, but just keeps holding on for a little bit longer. That's the feeling that the Nine of Wands has. It's like, I'm not going to give up because I've already come so far. You know, I've been involved with this person for so long, and I've already put, you know, so much energy into this connection. I don't want to give up just yet. I want to keep hanging in there. I'm thinking of carrots as like, you know, being firmly rooted. And I'm also being reminded of the tea leaf fortune card, which has a carrot on it, and it says opportunity or windfall. You know, windfall being like your rewards are suddenly falling. It's like a breakthrough. I feel like this person is waiting for a breakthrough. They've been struggling, they've been confused, but they're kind of hoping on that. Like, if I just hang in a little bit longer, if I just hang in here a little bit longer, there's going to be a breakthrough. There's going to be a breakthrough in this person, and they will make a move towards me, or their feelings will come flooding out. And I feel like the Emperor for a long time has been in this like so close yet so far away kind of energy, which honestly I think has been kind of uncomfortable for the Emperor. And I think that, you know, the Justice person might have played a role in this. You know, I'm even thinking of the carrot as like, you know, when you dangle a carrot in front of, I think it's like in front of a horse or something to pull the chariot. I feel like the Justice person might have been doing this to the Emperor person a little bit. you know, like dangling this carrot, like, oh, if you just keep going, you'll get what you really want. So there could have been some leading on behavior from the justice person, whether that was intentional or not. But yeah, this is kind of feeling like a difficult dynamic. And I also can't help but notice that the Emperor person has, you know, like a scar. They're missing an eye. It feels like they've been hurt. They've been hurt through this process. And yet the Emperor is very sturdy, and the Emperor is like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not giving up. I feel like the Emperor person is really, really hanging in there. I do want to mention with the eye missing that maybe this is implying that the Emperor person is having a hard time looking objectively at the situation because they care for the justice person so much, or because they might be attached to the justice person. But I don't think that the Emperor person is really getting what they want or what they deserve out of this dynamic, at least what I can see from now. We'll get into the deep dive of how your person is feeling and what's going on, but it does look like kind of a difficult dynamic right now. I also want to roll the astro dice and see what we have. So yeah, we have Aries energy. So like we were talking about before, this is about initiation, being bold, making the first move. We have the third house, which talks about communication. So this connection needs communication, and it needs someone to take initiative. And I do believe that this is talking about the justice person. And we also have the North Node, which in this case, I think is talking about breaking past patterns. You know, stopping this moving in circles and actually moving forward in the direction that we want to go into. So let's take a look at the tarot now. We'll get into the deep dive part of this reading and see how your person is feeling. Okay, so we're going to start with how your person is feeling in their head. We have the Nine of Cups. How this person is feeling in their heart. The Queen of Crystals, so that would be the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, how they're feeling in their soul. We have the Eight of Crystals. Their intentions towards you or towards this connection. We have the Emperor. And any future actions that would be taken towards you in the reasonable future. We have the Eight of Wands, and then also at the bottom of the deck we have the Ace of Wands. Okay, so we will go through these in order, starting over here with the Nine of Cups. In terms of how this person thinks about you, you definitely make this person very happy. This person feels very calm and comfortable when they're around you. I feel like they feel safe around you. They feel like they can just relax, like their stresses fade away. There's something about your energy or your presence that helps this person through tough times. Maybe you give this person very good advice or emotional comfort, or maybe you just have a very soothing energy that this person likes to be around. They're very, very happy with you and very happy with the connection. I'm also hearing like I wouldn't change anything. So it's like they wouldn't change anything about you. They wouldn't want you to be any different. They like you just the way you are. And they wouldn't want anything to be different in your connection. I'm not sure if that's like something that you want to hear or not, but there's this feeling of contentment and satisfaction with the Nine of Cups. So it's like, I like you, I'm happy with the way things are. If I had to guess, maybe your person is coming through as the justice person, because that is, you know, how their energy really came through, whereas it was more of the emperor person who is not feeling very satisfied with the way things are. But I can definitely see with the Nine of Cups that this person only thinks positive things about you, and like they're happy to have you around. With the Queen of Pentacles here, in terms of like how they feel emotionally, this person definitely thinks very, very highly of you. Like they think that you deserve the world. They think that you deserve the best. The thing that kind of made me, I don't know if you guys remember, I feel like I did a little like, or like, that's interesting. When I saw the Queen of Pentacles in this deck and there's the tiger makes me think of the High Priestess because of, and actually I haven't used this deck in a very long time, but the Wild Unknown tarot deck, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but the High Priestess is represented by a tiger. So I was kind of thinking like, okay, this person sees you as the Queen of Pentacles, which is like thinking of you very highly and thinking that you deserve the world, and then also kind of sees you as the High Priestess. I don't know if you've shared like your spiritual side with this person, but they're definitely very intrigued by it. And I'm also hearing like they might be intimidated by it in some ways. Maybe this person feels like you can really see through them, and that kind of freaks them out. And there may even be some things that they didn't tell you about, like just you bringing up certain subjects at very specific timing for them, or like specific wording that you use with them. It's like, how did you know that? They feel like you're in the know. They feel like you're picking up on their energy somehow. They feel like you're seeing through them somehow. And I feel like that kind of freaks them out. Now, I am kind of getting a little bit of an insecure vibe from this person, or a feeling of like they don't feel worthy of you, because the tiger, this High Priestess energy, one thing about the High Priestess is that she doesn't lower her bar and she doesn't chase people. Like the High Priestess knows what she deserves, and she's not gonna like make herself smaller or make her expectations smaller to make someone else comfortable, and she's not going to chase people. And so that energy, combined with this person seeing you as the Queen of Pentacles, I think this person kind of sees you as like, you could get anyone that you want, and you could get anything that you want in this life. I'm also thinking of a tiger, like, you know, pursuing or pouncing on what they want. Like this person finds you to be so capable and so worthy of the best in this life. Like they know, like if you wanted something, you could go out there and get it. Or if you wanted someone, you could go out there and get it. Like you don't have to chase. And I feel like there honestly might be a little bit of like intentional or unintentional manipulative behavior going on here, where this person, like it's in this person's interest that you should feel like you need to chase them. Because it's almost like if you really saw your worth, if you really saw what you were worthy of, then like you wouldn't bother with them. And I'm not saying that that's true, but I think that this is how they see it, because they're observing you from a place of insecurity and perhaps thinking like you're out of their league and you deserve so much more than what they are or what they can offer you. And so this is like some tactic that they think they need to do, like to make you stick around or to keep you running in circles like this. Which is kind of a twisted way of thinking, but this is what is coming through with the Queen of Crystals in this case. Now, in terms of what their soul is thinking about you, we do have the Eight of Crystals here. This, like the number 8, is something that makes me think of karma or spiritual lessons, and we also have the number 8 here, and we also have the North Node and like North and South nodes make me think of like soul's lessons or soul's progress. And so I definitely think that your souls have come together to learn certain lessons from each other. And I think it boils down to you guys seeing your worth in the 3D. Because I also feel like if this person saw their worth, then they wouldn't be running in circles like this, or they wouldn't be avoiding situations like this. It's almost like they think they need to do this to keep people around. They need to dangle this carrot to keep people around, because it's like if I laid out all my cards and you saw like who I really am, then you wouldn't be interested. So I have to keep you guessing, or I have to keep you waiting. And it's obviously not a healthy way to think, but I think if this person really saw their worth, they wouldn't be, and I'm sorry, but they wouldn't be keeping up with this foolishness, because that's what it is, this type of behavior. And I also think that, you know, this connection is here to help you see your worth. Whether or not you end up with this person, it would be up to you, but I do think that a big lesson you could learn from this connection is what you're truly worthy of. Like you don't need to go through a situation like this, or you don't deserve to be put in a situation like this, I think is a big lesson that could be learned here. And, you know, 8 of Crystals is about repetition and, you know, like continuing something until you get it right. And then we also have this going in circles. So, you know, within this lifetime that you're experiencing with this person, you might find that they just keep coming back around. This could be like an on again, off again situation, or, you know, their energy just keeps finding you. Or you could find like, even if you try to move on from this person, you keep thinking about them, or you keep having dreams about them, your energy keeps finding each other, because there might be this like unfinished business between the two of you, which I think, like, it's like with the North Node, this is like breaking free from past patterns. And I think that in order to do this, there needs to be open communication, and there needs to be a kind of boldness here, like where someone's being bold and coming forward and, you know, bluntly saying how they really feel. So being blunt about their dissatisfaction, or being blunt about what it is that they're so afraid of, being blunt about their fears and insecurities, and almost like calling yourself out on your own behavior and calling the other person out on their behavior. You know, Aries energy can be kind of confrontational like that. And so I think that's what this connection would need, is like brutal honesty and a brutal like calling out of this cycle that keeps repeating. And so, like I said, the 8 of Pentacles is like, we're going to keep doing this cycle until we get it right. So, you know, how that would translate in this lifetime is like, maybe you're on again, off again, or you keep bumping into each other, or you just can't seem to let go of each other. Or if you guys believe in or care about past life connections, things of that nature, it could be that this is a dynamic that has been repeating for many lifetimes, kind of like this cat and mouse situation, so to speak. But you're definitely in each other's lives to learn some real 3D lessons and some difficult lessons. So moving on here, we have the Emperor when it comes to this person's intentions towards you. Emperor energy is a little bit stubborn, and it can also be representative of the sign of Aries, which there's a lot of Aries energy here, like Aries. And you know, we do have a Lion here, which is making me think of somebody being prideful. And this is a male lion that we have here. Not that this person has to be a male, but I'm just thinking of, well, I already knew this fact, but it was like brought back up a few days ago, that it's the lioness, it's like the female lion that does all of the hunting and that kind of does all of the work in the lion pack. So, you know, thinking about the Emperor being stubborn, and thinking about a lion being prideful, and thinking about how male lions might not do that much. I do feel like when it comes to making a move towards you or making the move that you want them, because you know there's a difference between them coming towards you and them coming towards you in the way that you want them to. I think that would require them to swallow their pride, which might not be something that they're ready to do. I do think with the Eight of Wands here, because this talks about their future actions towards you, I do think that they will be reaching out to you and they will be communicating to you, because that's what the Eight of Wands talks about. But because we have the Emperor here, it might not be like this Emperor energy is very different from this Emperor energy. This is an Emperor who's like willing to fight and willing to initiate, and I feel like this is an Emperor who is still like proud, or who is still stubborn, who is not moving. So I think you'll be hearing from them, and actually quite soon, because both of these are Wands cards, and Wands would indicate that something is happening soon. But it kind of seems like they wouldn't be moving as much as you want them to, or it wouldn't be exactly the communication that you want from them. I know that this person definitely has a lot of passion for you, which I can see with the Ace of Wands here. Like, there's chemistry. I think that this person is very attracted to you. I see that with the Nine of Cups as well. Like, there's a lot of desire for you. I feel like they could even be extending an invitation, like they could be making some kind of sexual advance towards you, or some kind of physical advance towards you, you know, which maybe on one hand that's like progress, because they are initiating some kind of contact and making the first move. But I just don't know if, like, if you guys are wanting commitment from this person, I don't know if this is necessarily leading to that. It could be like, you know, it could be like they're starting a conversation with you, they're asking you to hang out, they're initiating like a physical relationship with you. But just from this, I'm not sure like how far that would go, or if it would be exactly what you want. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the oracle cards here from various different decks to see what energy we are dealing with. So we're starting off with Whispers of Mother Earth, creativity, ideas, inspiration, artist, writer, channel. The first vibe that I'm getting with this card is that there may be feminine spirit guides around you who are going to help you through this connection. And more specifically, I feel like they're going to help you embody this Queen of Pentacles energy, like who knows her worth and who takes care of herself and puts herself first. And they're also going to help you embody this High Priestess energy who doesn't lower her bar and who keeps her standards high and who doesn't chase. Or maybe you guys are already embodying this energy, but I feel like there is a spiritual team of feminine guides who have been helping you out with this. And I think that the more you guys embody this Queen of Pentacles and High Priestess energy, the less you would care like what happens with this connection. So I could see you guys either, I feel like you would either move on from this connection, or you would say like, they know where to find me, you know? Like if this person wants to talk to me, if this person wants to work things out with me or move things forward with me, they know where to find me. So I could also see you guys in an energy where like, it's not necessarily like you're shutting the door on this person, but you're not going to chase them. You know, like I empathize with you if you're going through insecurities, and I'm open, like if you can work through that and if you can grow up and if you can show up, and the door is open for that. But I can't keep chasing you. You know where to find me is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. We also have this card which is talking about creative ideas and inspiration and writing. Writing out how you're feeling about this connection might be something that helps you be more clear about how you truly feel or what you truly want. I think putting our emotions into language is very, very important, rather than just letting it stew inside us or processing it as like abstract thoughts. You know, I always find like if I talk something through with somebody, I feel a lot better. In your case, I feel like writing could be really, really helpful. You may even find that you're like automatic writing. So you're channeling messages from these spirit guides or channeling messages from your higher self when it comes to this connection. And you might be having some epiphanies that help you navigate the situation. And then we have, this is a crown chakra card coming through, guidance, support, love, signs, and direction. Yeah. So you guys definitely have a spiritual team who is working with you very, very closely through these lessons. But I want to remind you guys that the lesson here is not necessarily to end up with this person, but the lesson is to know your worth and to make decisions in this connection from an empowered place. Make the decisions that you make because you're taking care of yourself, because you're looking out for yourself, because you love yourself, and not from a place of attachment or feeling like you have to or are meant to be with this person, or feeling lack, like I have to hold on because I don't want to lose XYZ, you know, making decisions from a fearful place like that. We want to make them from a place of self-love and from a place of abundance, where we know that no matter what, I'm going to get what I deserve. No matter what, I'm going to be looked after. We also have unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. Yeah, so I feel like you will hear from this person. I do feel like in the foreseeable future, they would start to be more initiative towards you. With the Eight of Wands here and with the Lion, Leo season could be significant. If that hasn't happened yet at the time that you're watching this, I'm just thinking of like Eight of Wands reminds me of the month of August, and you know, this is a fire card with Leo being a fire sign, and then of course we have the Lion here. So Leo season might be a significant time for you guys, where you notice that this person is starting to reach out to you more, is starting to initiate seeing you more. Again, I feel like this person is going to be really passionate towards you. I definitely wouldn't say there's not enough attraction or chemistry, but I would maybe say that there's not enough commitment from this person. Like there's not enough stepping up from this person. And I could see that them, you know, moving towards you and expressing more interest in you, it could make you feel very happy and very satisfied for a while. But again, when it comes to like, okay, so, you know, we're getting closer, we're seeing each other more often, like, is this really progressing? I feel like that's what maybe this unrequited love card is talking about, is that like the desire to move this into a committed relationship, or the desire for this to be something more, may not necessarily be reciprocated. And yeah, we also have nothing will come of the situation with the Void of Course Moon. This is not a card that comes out very often. I really do not get this card often when I'm using this deck. And to be honest, sometimes I feel kind of scared that this card would come out, because it's very like point blank literal message. And obviously sometimes it could be a message that we don't want to hear. But I hope that for those of you who made it this far in the reading, maybe this is like a liberating message for you, to free yourself from this like carrot dangling energy, from this Nine of Wands energy of like, if I hang on a little bit longer, if I put myself through this discomfort a little bit longer, then I can get what it is that I really want. I feel like this is a way of thinking that your higher self and your guides who love you so much are wanting you to move away from, that you can have love and happiness and fulfillment without having to struggle in order to like earn it or prove that you're worthy. I feel like we want to move away. We want to move away from this. And we have empathy. I'm open to seeing both sides of a situation. So you guys, like I said, you might leave the situation open. For many of you, I could see you like cutting off this connection entirely. But I can't tell you what to do, of course, and you may feel like you want to just leave the door open. This message of like being open to both sides, I'm kind of seeing it as like, again, you know where to reach me, you know where to contact me. Maybe this is you guys like pulling away. I'm not going to chase anymore. I'm not going to initiate anymore. And I think I even used this word earlier, like, yes, I have empathy for you if you're you know, acting based out of fear, if you're going through some insecurities, but that doesn't mean that I deserve to be the punching bag of your insecurities. And then finally, we have the last card, which is the Angel Answers Oracle card. And so these cards kind of answer questions that you have. So if you guys feel called to do this, before I reveal this card, you could think about a question that you have with regards to this connection, and then we will flip it over and reveal what the answer is. So if you feel called to do this part, think about the question that you have about, well, it could actually be about anything. It doesn't have to be about this connection, but the answer to your question is in the near future. And again, I feel like Leo season might be significant, or the Ace of Wands could also be indicating that something could be happening within the next month, like within 1 month from now. It could even be within 1 week from now, because wands are pretty fast, but yes, something will be happening in the near future. But group number 2, these are all the messages that I'm seeing for you, so I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song. So if you're interested in listening to that one or any of my other songs, the music channel will be linked down below for you as well. Group number 2, I'm sending much love to you, much love to your person and to your beautiful spiritual team as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number 3s, so if you guys chose the Opalite, this is going to be your reading. So just to quickly break down how this reading is going to go, we're going to start off by taking a look at the energies of this connection. So we'll look at your energy, the energy of the person you're asking about, and the energies that exist between the two of you. And then we're gonna get into the deep dive of how this person feels about you. So we're gonna be seeing how they feel in their head, in their heart, and in their soul, as well as their intentions towards you and this connection, and then any actions that they'll be taking in the foreseeable future towards you. And then we'll close off the reading with any additional messages or guidance that you guys need to know. Just before we get into it, I did turn on the air conditioning because I always get sweaty when I'm reading, but I'm just gonna turn it down because I feel like the wind is too strong and it's gonna be audible. So I just turned it down a little bit. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so group number 3, what does group number 3's connection look like with the person that they are asking about? What are the current energies of this connection? So the first card that we have is the 7 of Wands, which actually came out for group number 2 as well. And then we have the Ace of Cups, and we have the 8 of Swords. Okay, it's interesting. It's interesting how this comes out, like the 8 of Swords person is standing inside the cup, and then we have like this 7 of Wands person. It looks like they're trying to fight or they're trying to get inside. One thing that I'm picking up for group 3 that I didn't necessarily pick up on for group 2 is that sometimes when the 7 of Wands appears in a relationship reading, I think of it as two people who have a lot of like 3D barriers or 3D differences. So for example, like an age gap or coming from different cultures, different backgrounds, different social status, different like upbringing or spiritual or religious beliefs, like those kind of things that would normally make us say like, oh, those two people couldn't be together because they have too many differences. And sometimes what we see with this 7 of Wands relationship, or how I often see it, is like this is a connection that can transcend all of those things, that can that can make it past all of those differences, because, you know, the love that you experience on a soul level is something so much deeper than those superficial or 3D barriers or differences that might exist between the two of you. With this Ace of Cups here, I feel like this is really the star of the show when it comes to the current energies of this connection. Aces do talk about new beginnings, and I really feel like there is a new beginning that is wanting to blossom in this connection. Particularly the Ace of Cups talks about a new beginning that brings a lot of love, a lot of happiness, a lot of emotional fulfillment into your life. I honestly feel like these two people have a lot of love for each other, or are in love with each other, or care about each other very deeply, and are both feeling like they want this new beginning to happen. What I'm seeing with this Eight of Swords person standing in the cup is that there may be someone in this connection right now who is afraid, or who is, you know, lacking in confidence. The Eight of Swords often talks about these limitations that we place on ourselves, like these mental prisons that we put ourselves in, or mental chains that we put ourselves in, where we say like, I can't do XYZ, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough, I'm not good enough for blank. But it's all in our head, and it's not that something being in our head doesn't make it real, because obviously that struggle that we go through is very real. But it's kind of saying like, if you could shift your mindset, if you could see things differently, if you could gain a new perspective, you would see that you are good enough, that you always were good enough. Like, there was nothing that needed to change on the outside. It was just something that needed to shift within, if that makes sense. And I think that there might be someone in this connection who is, you know, struggling a little bit mentally right now, where they think that they're not worthy of happiness, or not ready for this kind of happiness, when that's not the case, when they've always been worthy, when this happiness has always been ready for them. And so there could be some fears or mental blockages right now that are holding this person back from really embracing the new beginning that is wanting to happen, or to really embrace the happiness that is waiting for them, the happiness that this connection can bring them. I also heard like there might be a little bit of self-sabotaging energy, or like self-fulfilling prophecy kind of energy. For example, somebody saying like, oh, relationships don't work out anyway, so then they don't even bother like putting themselves out there, or, you know, trying to be in a relationship or expressing how they feel, because like they've already decided, they've already made up their mind that it's not going to work out. But then because of that, they don't take action, and because of that, it doesn't work out, and then they'll be like, see, I told you so. And so it's this kind of self-fulfilling cycle, where it's like they're letting their mental blockages win, or they're letting their lack of confidence win. They're letting it stop them from taking action. So I very much feel this Eight of Swords person is like standing in their own way, between themselves and this happiness that they can have, maybe in this connection, but in their life in general as well. I think this might be someone who, like, their fears, they let their fears get in the way a lot of their own happiness. Now, what I'm seeing is that this Seven of Wands person, I feel like, is trying to save the Eight of Swords person. So they see what's happening. They see this person is afraid. This person is lacking confidence. This person doesn't want to come out of their shell or come forward out of fear. And it's like this Seven of Wands person wants to like run to their aid and save them from their own mind, or save them from their own fears. And while I think that when we're in this energy, having someone who believes in us and who is encouraging us and helping us through it can make a huge difference. But what I have to point out with the Seven of Wands is that this is one person like fighting off all of these wands on their own. And I feel like what I might be seeing is that right now, this Seven of Wands person, it's like the Seven of Wands person is doing more work to help the Eight of Swords person than the Eight of Swords person is doing to help themselves. And so it might not be a very fair dynamic, and maybe the Eight of Swords person needs to learn how to get out of their own mental prison on their own, because I think there's only so much that a person on the outside can do. You know, I think receiving external validation and love and encouragement, it can make a huge difference, like I said, and I think it's indispensable. But at the end of the day, we have to be the one to pull ourselves out, or we have to be the one to commit to our happiness. And so, you know, I'm not judging either person. Like the Seven of Wands person, I can totally see why they are behaving this way, because they care so much for the Eight of Swords person, and they just want to see them happy, and they just want to see them. It's like, I wish you could see how beautiful and amazing and worthy you already are. And it's like, they try so much to pour into the Eight of Swords person's cup, but I think that there might be a hole in the Eight of Swords person's cup. So it's like, no matter how much the Seven of Wands person is pouring and pouring, it could be draining out of the bottom. And I think the Eight of Swords person really needs to like pull themselves out, or commit to pulling themselves out. So there's a couple other decks that I want to look at for this part. We have the Hierophant on one side and the Moon on the other side. And then we have the Page of Swords on this side. Could also be the Knight of Swords. And then we have, oh, the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups on the other side. Yeah, so I think the Moon person over here is corresponding with the energy of the Eight of Swords person, and this Hierophant person here is corresponding with the energy of the Seven of Wands person. I should also mention that Taurus energy or Pisces energy could be significant. So these could be signs of you or your person. They definitely don't have to be, but if you have these signs, it could be like an extra layer of confirmation. But yes, I think that it's the Moon person who is really working to embody this Ace of Cups energy. I kind of feel like the Hierophant person is already there. Like, they're so excited for this connection, and they're so ready to embrace this happiness and embrace this new beginning. The Hierophant talks about being in alignment with your highest self, being in alignment with your highest good, and also being committed to the future, being committed to the path before you. So I really feel like this Hierophant person is all in. You know, sometimes I even think about, it kind of looks like a marriage is taking place here. Like, we have the two people below, and then the Hierophant person is like marrying them. So it could be that the Hierophant person thinks about that kind of thing with the Moon person, thinks about a long-term future. This could also be representing the Hierophant person feeling like a higher power has brought them together. Like, this represents them and the Moon person, and then this cat represents like a spirit guide or a guardian angel or some sort of higher power who has brought them together. You know, the number 5 makes me think of the 5D, and it's a number that represents change and growth. The Hierophant person would say to the Moon person, like, you've really changed me for the better. And I think that we met each other for a reason. I think that our meeting was divinely guided. And I think that, you know, if we choose to walk this path together, our future can be very, very happy. And also I see here, with this being the Jack, this could be the Page of Swords or the Knight of Swords. I don't know if technically it's one or the other, but basically what I'm seeing from this is the Hierophant's willingness to talk things through and to work things out with the Moon person, even if it's difficult. I feel like the Hierophant person really would love for the Moon person to open up and, you know, tell me what's on your mind, tell me what's bothering you, tell me what you're afraid of. And I'm also hearing like, I can handle it. Like, whatever it is that is on your mind, whatever it is that is troubling you, I can handle it. And I'm willing to be open to whatever you have to say, even if it's like a little bit difficult for me to hear at first, even if it's kind of like hard pills to swallow, because sometimes, you know, Page of Swords energy can talk about that thing, like truths that are kind of hard to hear. And I think the Hierophant just really wants the moon person to know, like, I'm here for you and I'm here for this connection, whether it's easy stuff to get through or difficult stuff to get through, because that's what commitment is all about. And, you know, I don't feel this way about someone every day. I don't feel like there's a divine reason that someone is in my life every day. And so I plan to really cherish this feeling, and I plan to really cherish you. And we can get through this no matter what. Like, I feel it's really beautiful committed energy from this Hierophant and Seven of Wands person. You know, just going back to, I picked up at the beginning that there may be some, you know, 3D differences or barriers that exist between these two people. It could be that the moon person is like really afraid of that causing problems in the relationship. And the Hierophant person is like not afraid, or like they're willing to face whatever challenges come up because of that. So just for a hypothetical example, maybe these two people, like their families come from different cultures, or they come from different religious backgrounds, or there's some reason that like the families wouldn't approve of each other or something like that. And, you know, the moon person is really, really concerned about that. They're really, really afraid about that. Whereas the Hierophant person is like, don't worry, we'll take it one day at a time. We'll face these challenges together. Or even like, I'm sure it's not going to be that big of an issue. I'm sure, you know, once our families see how much we love each other, everything is going to be fine. That's just one example, but it's, you know, there could be some external factors or some differences that the moon person is really worried about and the Hierophant person is not so worried about. And again, I feel like the moon worrying so much about it could be it could be like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, because they're so worried about it, they actually keep bringing it up more and more than if they just let it be. Maybe the issue actually wouldn't come up so much, but like because they're so concerned about it, it's like it makes it a bigger problem. Like, because they're so focused on it, it's growing and growing. The moon can kind of have that vibe of like illusion. So there could be some things that the moon person is worried about that wouldn't actually be that big of a deal, but then it's like getting blown out of proportion. I just think that it's like the moon person could be afraid in the face of happiness, or the moon person could be afraid in the face of what they really want. With the airplane here, this could be like a long distance situation, or again, this could be some kind of like international situation. We come from two very different worlds kind of situation. It could also be that the moon person has gone to great lengths to be in the Hierophant person's world. Like maybe the moon person has traveled a very far distance, or just strived, I don't know how to say that, strive to really big goals to be on the Hierophant person's level. And so maybe they feel this weight on their shoulders of like, of needing to prove themselves. Oh, there's like a plane flying overhead right now, which is very interesting timing. So maybe travel or long distance or like international couple is like a thing for you guys. But yeah, it's like they've gone to so many lengths and maybe feel like they need to prove they're good enough for the Hierophant person, or prove that, you know, they're good enough to have this Ace of Cups, to have this kind of happiness, when again, this is something that they've built up in their head, when in reality they never needed to prove anything. Like, they were always good enough. They were always inherently good enough, and this happiness was always right there for them. And I think this is something that the moon person just needs to realize. They need to realize on their own. I think that having external help and validation can help them a lot, but like I said before, at the end of the day, you know, if we don't see it ourselves, if we don't perceive it ourselves, then anything that is poured in from the outside, poured into our cup, is just gonna spill out. So this moon person really needs to work through their mental blockages and work through their fears and fill their own cup. But I feel like the Hierophant person is so committed and would be like an unwavering support for this moon person. And I'm actually not sure, like, I'm not sure who is who in this scenario. I feel like in the previous groups, I could kind of tell, but I feel like I'm not sure in this case. Or maybe, I guess in some ways you could be a little bit of both. If you do find that you resonate with both sides of these in some ways, it could be that the two of you are mirroring each other very closely. Like maybe you're both a little bit afraid, but at the same time you're both committed to each other. But yeah, I'm not sure about this one. So, oh, you know what? I forgot to roll the Astro dice. I wanted to roll these as well. Okay, so we have Aries, we have the moon, and we have the 8th house. Okay, so the 8th house is making me think of like subconscious fears that are holding us back, very 8 of Swords kind of energy. With the moon being here, it's funny because this person was represented by the moon, but moon also talks about like, you know, it's the fastest moving planet, so it can fluctuate quite a bit. So, you know, maybe this is not like a constant energy, but it's something that fluctuates over time. So maybe, you know, this connection has really, really good days where we're feeling really confident, we're feeling really good about the future. And then every now and then these fears come to visit, these insecurities come to visit, almost like we're going through episodes, just like the moon goes through different phases where sometimes it's big and bright and full and other times it's completely dark. Someone in this connection could go through fluctuations like that as well when it comes to their confidence, or when it comes to how they're dealing with their fears. With this Aries energy here, I am thinking of this as taking charge or taking initiative, you know, because the Aries energy is very empowered. It's like I'm grabbing life by the horns. I'm taking charge of the situation. I think the biggest thing to overcome these fears would be the recognition that these fears are not the boss of you, or these fears are not the boss of me. I am the boss of my fears, and I'm the boss of myself, and I get to choose how I respond to this fear. And so someone right now might be feeling kind of powerless to their fears, or just like they're at the mercy of their fears, and when their fears come knocking, they just lose all of their power. And I think there needs to be a shift where like I'm not the victim to my mind. I'm not the victim to my fears anymore. I'm the boss. I'm in charge. I can control the actions that I take. And I can take action and I can choose happiness even if I'm afraid at the same time. I can show that courage. I can choose myself. I can choose my happiness. Like, we just need to be bold, and we need to be confident, and we need to kick our fears butt is the way it's coming through. So with that, let's move into the tarot to see the deep dive into this person's feelings for you. Okay, so we're starting with their feelings for you in their head. And we have, oh my gosh, that's the 3rd time the Ace of Cups has appeared in this reading. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely, and I think there's another plane flying overhead now. There's definitely a new beginning that is wanting to happen in this connection, a happy new beginning. How they're feeling in their heart, how they're feeling in their emotions. We have the Knight of Crystals or the Knight of Pentacles. How they're feeling, oh my heart, oh my gosh. How they're feeling in their soul is the 6 of Cups. Oh my God, this is so sweet. Their intentions towards this connection, oh my, no way. 8 of Swords and the 7 of Wands, which fell out together. And that's literally what fell out here. 8 of Swords and the 7 of Wands. And we also have the Ace of Cups 3 times. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we have 8 of Swords That's the doorbell. Okay, there's a lot going on here. Do you guys just have like signs and synchronicities popping in all the time? Because there's a lot going on. Okay, and then I also want to pull a card for future actions towards this connection. And then, ooh, we have awakening, which I think is judgment, if I'm not mistaken. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have serenity, which is the hermit. So we do have some Virgo energy here. And then awakening is Pluto energy. If this is in fact judgment, I'm like 90% sure it is, but that would be Scorpio energy could be significant as well. These could also be indicating that like the window between Virgo season and Scorpio season is going to be significant in this connection. So late August to late November? Yes. Late August to late November could be a significant window in this connection. If at the time you stumble upon this reading, that window has already passed, it could also be Pisces and Taurus, the window between Pisces and Taurus season, which would be late February to late May. So whatever's coming up at the time that you are watching this video. But wow. So lots of synchronicities going on here. I'm just going to go through these in order, starting with the Ace of Cups, representing what this person thinks about you. I actually think it's really sweet that we have a card that is so heavily emotional in a space that is talking about, you know, our mind, that is talking about how we see the connection mentally. You know, it's almost like we're seeing that this person's head and their heart are on the same page. You know, emotionally, obviously you make this person extremely happy and they are really wanting this new beginning with you. And then also they can see that logically or objectively you are a really, really good match for them. That their life has just been so much better since you came into it. I think that you've really taught this person about how fulfilling it is to care for someone and to nurture someone, and just how much brighter life is when you, I want to say when you love someone, like how much brighter it makes life when you love someone. And I think you've also taught this person a lot about caring for themselves and a lot about nurturing and loving themselves, which I think they are extremely grateful for. And I'm also hearing like, you make me happier than I thought that I could be. It's like this person didn't know that their cup could overflow, or this person didn't know that their heart could overflow so much. And maybe this is a little bit cheesy, but like I would see movies or I would read in books about this fairy tale like love, and you know, I didn't know that such a thing really existed for me. I thought it was just in the movies, or I thought it was just in our fantasies. And it's like, now I know what they were talking about. Now I know what that character was experiencing. Now I know what that book was talking about when they were describing those emotions. Like, oh, this is it. This is what everyone's hyped up about. I feel so like shy saying these things. So I don't know how open this person has been about these kind of feelings, but like, oh, this is that true love that everyone's talking about. Like, this is amazing. This feels so good. I think, you know, the ace or the number one, it could be also talking about something being a first. Like, this is the first time I felt this way. So you could be this person's first something, like first love, first like physical experience, if you have been together in that way, or first fulfilling physical experience. Or it could also be like, if you guys have some 3D differences, it could be like they've never been involved with someone like you. And you know, actually, I talk a lot about the Seven of Wands being like barriers to being together because of differences, but it could also be barriers to being together because of similarities. For example, like being a same-sex couple. That's something that might be like a new experience for someone, or like that they could still be trying to figure out. And it can certainly be something that is perceived by certain groups of people as like, oh, those two people can't be together. So I shouldn't just say like it's because you're different. It could also be because of similarities. But I think that in some way you are this person's first something, but they feel very, very grateful for the experience that you've brought them. And again, I feel like it sounds kind of cheesy, but it's like you've shown this person what love truly is, or what it truly feels like to be in love with someone. And you can't know that until you've experienced it. They're like, no, you can't describe it. You have to feel it for yourself. You have to experience it, and then you'll know. And they truly feel like they're experiencing something very, very special by having these feelings for you, which they are. Something very special, something very rare. I think they're very, very sure about how they feel about you. They're sure in their heart, and they're sure in their head as well, because this is all about what they think. Now, in terms of the more emotional aspect, we have the Knight of Crystals here. I can kind of interpret this a couple of different ways, and this depends on like which side you are resonating with. Like if you feel your person is more the Hierophant, or if you feel your person is more of the Moon. If your person is more of the Hierophant, I definitely think that this Knight of Crystals is saying like, I'm here for you. I'm not going anywhere. I will wait for you. We will work through our troubles one step at a time, because Pentacles or Crystals energy is very, very stable. It's very sturdy. It's very consistent. So this makes me think of someone who is going to be incredibly loyal and that you can really rely on. And, you know, the Knight of Crystals talks about a journey that is like slow and steady, one step at a time. We'll get there eventually. Like, we're not rushing, we're not trying to force anything. We're recognizing that the path isn't linear, and we're honoring that. So I feel this like intense loyalty, and this intense like, I'm gonna stick around because I'm very sure about this. If your person is more of the Moon person, I think that it's a similar energy, but I feel this coming through as more of like an apologetic or even a guilty kind of energy. Like, I know that you would rather be farther along on this journey, or that you would rather be farther along in your life, and maybe they feel a little bit guilty, like they're slowing you down. If they're struggling with this Eight of Swords energy, they might feel like they're holding you back, but it's like they recognize that this journey is difficult. They recognize that this journey is slow. And I do feel a little bit of like, it's sad to see, but there's like a little bit of guilt there, or a little bit of like, I'm sorry that you have to deal with this, or I'm sorry that I'm making you wait. It's actually quite like, it's making me emotional to read this energy, especially because I know the Hierophant person wouldn't think of it like that at all. They wouldn't think like, oh, this Moon person is slowing me down. I'm trying to get to the destination that I want to get to. The Hierophant person is just so happy to even be on this journey with the Moon person. I don't think the Hierophant person is really thinking about like, oh, we got to get here at a certain time. They're just like, oh, I'm so happy we can walk together. I'm so happy we can go on this journey of life together. And I actually like, I feel like crying right now, because it just makes me really sad that sometimes the Moon person would struggle and the Moon person wouldn't be able to see that. Again, like with the Moon being here, I do think it's something that comes and goes. Like, you know, sometimes things are good, we're feeling really good, and then sometimes we're struggling. But that's life, right? We all have our phases like this, and life is not a linear journey, and these connections are not a linear journey. And I think the Hierophant person is very aware of that and is very okay with that. And I'm just wondering who made the Moon person feel like they have to be so like rushed to heal or to get it right or to pull themselves together. It's like, I feel like they need to give themselves more kindness. So maybe, I don't know, if maybe they had like a very strict environment around them, but it's like I mentioned at the beginning of the reading, it's like they keep feeling like I'm not good enough and I need to prove myself. I need to prove that I deserve to be with the Hierophant, or I need to prove that I deserve to be in the Hierophant's world. And they need to, it's like, where are you trying to go so quickly? Like you were always worthy. Your worthiness was not a destination that you needed to make it to. It was in you all along. I really feel for both of these people, and this connection has such a sweet energy. And looking at this Six of Cups here, like, this is straight up soulmate energy. For those of you who like look out for these labels, feel confirmation or validation from these labels, this is a very strong indicator of a soulmate connection. But more broadly, I can say this is a connection that has a lot of familiarity and that feels very comfortable to this person's soul. So your soul, this person's soul either knew you forever, or they feel like they knew you forever. They feel very safe with you. They feel very familiar with you. They feel like they can be themselves with you. If you guys are interested in past life connections or feel like you've had past life connections with this person, there's also really strong indicators of that with the Six of Cups. Like, think of it as like, you know, your best friend that you've known since day one. You know them like the back of your hand. There might have even been something like when you met this person that you just immediately knew. Like, you immediately knew this was an important person, or you just immediately felt comfortable around them. You might have even thought like, wait, have I met this person before? Because their energy was just so... and I feel like I'm saying a lot of cheesy stuff in this reading. I apologize, but it's just like the energy feels like coming home. You know, it feels like coming home to your childhood home or your best friend that you've known for a million years. Almost like getting hit with nostalgia. There's something about when your souls came together, they were hit with this feeling of nostalgia. Maybe your souls have similar origins, like you've both had past lives in the same country or in the same star system as well. Definitely doesn't have to be on Earth, but yeah, you could have similar origins, or you know, your souls came from similar places, were cut from the same cloth. You're like peas in a pod. You're like kindred spirits. And so this person's soul definitely feels very close to you. It's a very sweet connection. The Six of Cups is very like pure and innocent. And I'm just feeling a lot of unconditional love coming from this card. So moving on here, we have the Eight of Swords and the Seven of Wands. When it comes to this person's intentions, it's very interesting that those are the two cards that came up here. Again, I'm not sure which side your person is, but I definitely think that this is showing like, I intend to face these fears. I intend to stand up to these fears. I intend to smash these fears. Like, basically what we saw here with this Aries energy of what, you know, what we're really needing in this connection, or what this connection is really craving. Like we mentioned before, the Eight of Swords talks about the fears or mental blockages. The Seven of Wands talks about like fighting. Like, you're gonna go to battle against these fears. Whether it's easy, whether it's difficult, we're gonna do it. We're gonna make it happen. But what I really like in this card is that there's actually two beings, where we would normally see in the Seven of Wands, it's just one person having to fight off everything on their own. Now we see these two beings who are like looking together and they're saying, let's go, let's do it. So if your person is the Hierophant person, they're saying like, we'll work through this together, we'll tackle this together. And if your person is the Moon person, I think they're saying that, you know, they're willing to let you in. they're willing to open up. And again, they're willing to work through things together. And then as for this person's actions towards you in the near future, we have awakening. And again, I'm going to read this as judgment because that's already the vibe that it gave me. But this is a card that talks about, I love it. It talks about answering the call. It talks about stepping up. It talks about releasing the past. So shedding your past self, all the while having compassion for your past self. So it's not about like condemning yourself or saying you were bad. It's about saying, thank you, past self. I don't need you anymore. I'm going to release you and I'm going to level up and I'm going to become a bigger, stronger, new and improved version of myself. So there's definitely a huge transformation that is happening within this person. And then I love that we have serenity here as well, because you know, it's just making me think of peace and harmony coming to this connection. We have the number 9 on this card, which makes me think of healing, awakening, leveling up, closing off tough cycles. It's like everything that I could hope to see after a reading like this. And you know, with this being the Hermit, this is also a card that talks about soul searching, that talks about deep reflection. We often see the Hermit holding a lantern, so it's like I'm venturing into the shadows. I'm gonna, you know, find the root of the issue and address it. So with these two cards together, I just see a massive healing and a massive transformation that is taking place. And I think that this is what then paves the way for this Ace of Cups new beginning that has been popping up so much and that has just been dying to happen. Like this new beginning really wants to happen for you guys. So yeah, this person fully intends to get through whatever challenges you guys are facing. Like, we'll get through this together. We're in this together. And then with the Judgment card, like I said, there's this feeling of I'm stepping up, I'm answering the call. So I definitely think, you know, if you ask me, with the Hierophant and the Six of Cups, there is some higher power that has brought the two of you together, and your souls are calling to each other. And I think that this card is representing this person answering the call. So this is a really beautiful energy. Well, not quite to end off with, because we still have these oracle cards, but to finish off the tarot portion of this reading. So now let's take a look at your oracle cards and see what other messages and advice you need to know. We have the Child within, inner mother, innocence, gentleness, and tenderness. This innocence, gentleness, tenderness, it reminds me a lot of the Six of Cups energy. Again, I think this is speaking to how like pure and how unconditional this connection is. One thing that I really like about this connection is that you truly see each other for who you genuinely are, and that's what you're in love with, or that's what you really like. It's like it's not like you're in love with the fantasy of what you want this person to be, or you're projecting something onto them. It's like, I take you as you are. I take you at face value. I see you for your true colors, and that's what I love. I love the real you for all the good and the bad, not like a idealized version of you or romanticized version of you. It's very real. And then, you know, talking about the child within and the inner mother, I was pondering a little bit on the moon person and the challenges that they might be facing. So maybe this is hinting that it has something to do with childhood, why they're so anxious about stumbling, or they're so anxious about like, I need to pull myself together and get to the destination, rather than saying like, it's okay, I'm allowed to make mistakes, I'm allowed to slow down, I'm allowed to enjoy the journey. I feel like that's something that's kind of hard for them, and so this could be hinting that that comes from childhood. We also have dreams, messages, signs, symbols, and guidance. So I think that this person dreams a lot about you, and I think that your higher self leaves them a lot of signs and leaves them a lot of guidance in their dreams. And maybe their higher self does the same for you, but I think that you guys are very, very connected in the spirit world. I think that with this Six of Cups here, like your souls are definitely very, very close together, always dropping each other messages, always dropping each other signs. I think that if you ever needed advice for what to do with this connection, and you wanted to ask like a spirit guide, or you wanted to ask a friend in the soul world, you could ask this person's higher self, and that would be like the best person or the best being to ask, and they will be right there to provide you with encouragement, to provide you with love, to provide you with guidance. I think that there also could be many instances where you and this person have like similar dreams about each other at the same time, or you're like actually meeting up in the astral realms. Interesting, we have healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So, you know, with this combined with the child within and the inner mother, there could be some like re-parenting or self-parenting that needs to go on here, where we're sort of unlearning the unhealthy or unsupportive mindsets that our parents taught us or that our parents passed on to us. And, you know, the more I unveil these oracle cards, the more I feel like this Eight of Swords energy that we've been kind of unpacking throughout this reading was brought on by something in the childhood. We have a new romantic cycle begins with the new moon in Libra. Very clear message. I'm very happy to see this. You know, we've been talking about a new happy beginning, a new beginning in love, with all of these Ace of Cupses in this reading. And it's interesting because I think I mentioned that the window between Virgo and Scorpio season would be significant for you guys, and the new moon in Libra would fall within that window. I believe it's going to be in late September. So that might be an important time for you guys. If that's coming up at the time that you're watching this video. Oh my God, we also have forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Yeah, this is definitely some like past memories or some childhood memories that need to be released. That's coming through very, very clearly. And it's very interesting that it says, you know, holding on to this is blocking the flow of love, or it's putting a hole in this cup that this person can't hold water or can't hold love in their cup. So for this final card, this is the Angel Answers Oracle cards, and these provide answers to questions that you have. So I thought for this last part of the reading, if you feel called to do this, you could think of a question that you would like answered, whether it's about this connection or something else. It could be about anything, and then we will flip over this card and reveal the answer for you. So if you do feel called to do this part, think of the question that you would like answered. And the answer to the question is unlikely. So if it was a yes or no question that you guys asked, then this would be a very obvious answer that it's unlikely. But if you asked a question that is not a yes or no answer, this can be indicating that something is going to happen in an unlikely fashion. So, you know, sometimes I see this card as talking about, you know, something has happened where it's like, what are the odds of that? What are the odds of something, you know, lining up so perfectly? So something being very serendipitous, something kind of defying all odds, something being once in a lifetime. So there could be very big serendipitous events coming to you guys in the near future, like signs and synchronicities that are just too spooky, or, you know, things lining up in a very like spooky, in a very spooky way with this person, where you really feel like, okay, higher powers are pulling some kind of strings for us. But group number 3, these are all the messages I have for you, so I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose a topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel will be linked down below for you as well. Group number 1, I'm sending so much love to you, to your person, and to your higher power who has been with you very closely, leading you to your union with this person. and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number 4s, so if you guys chose the rose quartz, this is going to be your reading. So just to quickly break down how this reading is going to go, we're going to start off by looking at the energies of this connection. So we'll see your energy, the energy of the person you're asking about, and the energies that exist between the two of you. Then we will move into the deep dive of this person's feelings for you. So we'll see how they're feeling about you in their head, in their heart, and in their soul. We'll also see what their intentions are towards you in this connection and any actions that they would be taking towards you in the foreseeable future. And then we'll close off the reading with any additional messages or guidance that you guys might need. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm going to start off with the transparent tarot to get our first look at your connection. Okay, so for group number 4, what does the connection look like between group number 4 and the person they're asking about? What are the current energies of this connection? So to start off, we have the Magician. What else can we see for the current energies of this connection? We also have the Queen of Cups. And let's get one more for group number 4's connection. What are the current energies? Okay, so we have 2 coming out at the same time. We have the 9 of Pentacles and we have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm gonna lay them out like this. The very first thing I want to say with this Magician card, I got a pretty straightforward message from this one. Just because of the imagery of this card, we have like the 2 dragons who are mirroring each other and who are intertwining. And this, oh my gosh, and I just saw 222 on the camera timer. This immediately made me think that you and this person are manifesting each other. And the fact that we have dragons here, I was thinking about a dragon like hoarding its treasure or protecting its treasure. And it was just making me think that this connection is something that is very important to the both of you. And you are both trying to manifest each other. Now, I'm not sure if it's like, you know, I'm actively manifesting this person, like I'm performing manifestation rituals, I'm scripting. It could very well be that, but it could also be that, you know, because you are constantly thinking about each other, you are manifesting each other's energy. So I guess what I'm saying is that it doesn't necessarily have to be like a very conscious, intentional decision. Or maybe you're not using the label manifesting, but your thoughts and actions are definitely in the process of manifesting each other. And I also think the fact that we have, you know, these dragons that are mirroring each other, it is showing like mutual feelings, it is showing reciprocation. I'm also being drawn to the red and white colors of the dragons. On one hand, the red color is making me think of this like burning, fiery passion and physical attraction. And then, wait, is it? There's a little bit of blue in there, but the dragon mostly looks white. The white color dragon was making me think of like, you know, this very sweet and very pure energy. So I almost feel like this is showing there's a nice balance between the two of you, where like it's steamy and it's passionate and it's exciting, but it's also very sweet and it's also very tender and it's also very loving. It's like you guys have a good balance of that. And I almost feel like this is reassuring that like, yes, there's very strong magnetic chemistry here and there's maybe a lot of physical attraction, but it goes beyond just that. So maybe there were just some of you who chose this pile who needed that kind of confirmation. Like the feelings that you're feeling, it's not just you getting carried away in physical or sexual attraction, or it's not just you getting carried away in your like magnetism to each other or your physical compatibility. Like there's, you know, there's real good intentions and pure emotion there. You have both of that in this relationship, and it's really, really nice. I'm also noticing that we have earth on one side and water on the other side. It could be indicative of earth and water signs. So water signs would be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Earth signs would be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So if you or your person have these signs, that could be an extra layer of confirmation, but you definitely don't have to. This could also be indicating that the seasons of summer and autumn are going to be significant for this connection. Wherever those seasons happen, where you are in the world, if they're coming up at the time that you're watching this video, that could be an important time for this relationship. So I feel like one person's energy is being represented by this Queen of Cups, and one person's energy is being represented by this Knight of Pentacles and Nine of Pentacles. I should also mention that the Nine of Pentacles is Venus in Virgo. So maybe one of you has Venus in Virgo, but let's take a few more cards. I swear this moon card keeps coming out. I feel like this is at least the second time the moon card has come out, but it might be the third? I feel like it might be. I don't know, she just keeps coming out. And on the other side, we have the High Priestess. That makes a lot of sense. And then we also have the Nine of Wands. And on this side, we have the Eight of Cups. Okay, interesting. So I'm gonna start over here on this side of the Queen of Cups and the High Priestess. First of all, this is just giving huge, like, psychic queen energy. Like, this is someone who is really, really tapped into their intuition, who is very spiritually and psychically gifted. And I do have a feeling that this person is aware of that. So this might be your energy. And now that I look at this energy, you guys are probably consciously manifesting this person, or you're very aware of the fact that you attract this person's energy. I do think that there is a spiritual significance to this connection, and I think that the High Priestess person is very, very aware of this. The vibe that I'm getting is that this person is manifesting this connection, but in no way are they like desperate about it or urgent about it. I feel like, and maybe they were at some point in the past, but this is current vibes. And what I'm currently picking up from this person is that they're really just letting go, and they're really just allowing things to flow naturally, and they know that things will happen at the right time. The High Priestess is someone who doesn't chase. It's like they have a deep knowing, and they know that what is meant for them will come to them. And very often it's like they don't have to chase because they just know that it's going to come. And with this Eight of Cups here, you know, this is about walking away, or this is about moving on. I feel like the High Priestess person is really standing in her power right now, and she's sort of let go. And I'm saying she because it's the High Priestess, but this person doesn't have to identify as a woman. I feel like the High Priestess has really let go of like expectations and has let go of the outcome. I think that's what this walking away is talking about. But it's like, I'm okay with whatever happens in this connection. I know that what's meant to happen will. And I think that deep down, they know what the outcome of this situation is going to be, and that's why they're not stressing out. They're like, I know that everything's going to happen when it's meant to happen. And I just feel them in a very, very empowered energy. Now, over here, we have the Knight of Pentacles and we have the Nine of Pentacles. And I do want to point out the contrast between the Queen and the Knight, because it can indicate like different levels of readiness for the connection, and it can also indicate different levels of I guess like maturity or different levels of spiritual evolution. So the Knight of Pentacles person might be just a little bit behind in their journey, or they may not be in such an empowered energy or such a mature energy as the Queen of Cups at this time. And what I'm seeing, you know, with this emphasis on Pentacles and with the Nine of Pentacles is that this person is very heavily focused on material or superficial things right now. And I think that they're very focused with their career and with their finances. And I'm hearing they're very focused with appearing busy or appearing successful. And I don't know why there's like an emphasis on appearing that way. I think this might be someone who like ties a lot of their value to their success or to their material possessions or their status at this time. Like this is just something, this is like a phase that they're going through, or this is something that they're struggling with right now. And I really feel for this person because it's like, I really see them putting in a lot of efforts to create an abundant life for themselves, you know, like to create a well-rounded and fulfilling and prosperous life for themselves, which is a really amazing thing to do. But it's like, because of their intentions or because of where it's coming from, it just feels a little bit sad. You know, the Nine of Pentacles is about having a very fulfilled life and being abundant and living your best life. But it almost feels like for this person, a lot of it is like performative, or it's because they feel like they have to prove that they can do this. And it's maybe not so much like, I'm doing all of these things for myself because I love myself and I want myself to have a good life. It's like, I'm doing this because I want to be successful because I've been told that successful people are more worthy, or like people with more abundance are more worthy. It's like, it's almost like they're doing this because they feel like they're lacking in some way and they feel like they need to be enough. And maybe in some ways they feel like they need this to be enough for this connection. Maybe this person feels like they need to, you know, have more to offer to the Queen of Cups, have more to provide for the Queen of Cups. And, you know, this Moon card has been showing up so much in the readings today. So I feel like as a collective, we're kind of being called out for fears that are holding us back. And I think this is something that has been like an idea that's been following me around recently as well, of like, we never had to prove ourselves in any way. Like we were good enough from the start. We were inherently worthy and good enough from the start. And I think that this is something that the Queen of Cups has already realized, and that's why they have let go, and that's why they're not fighting anymore. They're like, I know that I'm worthy of happiness, and I know that I'm worthy of the most highest and divine love. I know that I'm worthy of receiving everything I want, and that I don't need to chase anything. It's like they're very, very aligned with their higher self right now, and they're very, very in the flow. And I just see them in such a not worried, not bothered, I'm flowing. It's a very, very beautiful energy. And I think that eventually this person will get there as well, because I just really felt called to say this is just a phase that they're going through. This is just something they need to learn, almost as if they need to go through this phase so that they can realize, oh, none of this ever mattered. I think it was Jim Carrey who said it. Like he was like, I wish that everybody could become rich and famous so that they would realize it doesn't make you happy, or something to that effect. So it's almost as if maybe this person needs to go through this phase of, you know, working and struggling really hard to attain some sort of material goals or some sort of status related goals, to realize like, this was never what made me worthy in the first place. Almost like this experience is providing them that contrast that they need. And probably the High Priestess person knows this. And so they're like, okay, I respect your journey. Like, I'm not judging you. You need to go through this journey to learn this lesson. Like, that's a part of your soul's path. And I had my path to go down as well. I just feel so much wisdom and so much acceptance from this high priestess person, and I really, really love it. Like, I feel empowered sitting with this high priestess person's energy. So if this is you guys, like, thank you so much for being here and thank you so much for allowing me to read your energy. Like, it's truly inspiring and I feel very emotional. You guys also have such compassion for yourself and for this counterpart and for others in general. And I love that she's extending her cup, because it's like, you know, I see you going through this process and like, I'm here for you. It's really nice. Yeah, like I spoke about, the moon has been really showing up in these readings to show us like where we might feel like we're not good enough and where fears or insecurities might be distorting our perception. Like, this Knight of Pentacles thinks he needs all this stuff to be worthy, and he really doesn't. Like, his worth already comes from within. And it's interesting that we have this Nine of Wands energy here, because this is giving me like hamster in a wheel energy. This also came up in a previous reading, and the carrots were making me think of like, you know, like when a horse has a carrot dangled in front of it so it will keep walking. And that's kind of what this journey is like. It's like, it's never enough. Once you reach your goal, you just have another goal, and you know, that fulfillment you're looking for, that satisfaction that you're looking for, is always just out of reach. You know, once I make this much money, once I have this many followers, once I reach this weight or whatever it is, then I'll be happy. But then you reach that and then it's always just a little bit farther away. And you know, the Nine of Wands has this meaning of like, you're so close yet so far away. Like, if you just fight a little bit more, if you just hang in there a little bit more, then this will all be over. And I feel like this person is in the process of kind of realizing, I want to say like realizing the scam that is. Like, we've all been scammed into thinking you just have to fight a bit more, you just have to earn a bit more, you just have to flex a bit more, and then you'll feel good about yourself. And you know, this high priestess has probably been through that as well, but has already realized the scam of that. And maybe that's what this Eight of Cups is. It's like, I'm walking away. And you know, the Eight of Cups is also about searching for something that is more meaningful. So I feel like the high priestess has sort of graduated from looking for external validation or looking for satisfaction in like material things or in status, and has learned that the things that make them the most happy are like taking care of themselves and being closer to spirit, and you know, cultivating connections with their loved ones, and appreciating nature, and just appreciating the miracle of being alive and just being. Man, this energy is making me very emotional. Like, I'm really in awe of how beautiful this energy is. And I feel like the glasses are saying like, I can see clearly now. I can see the truth now. So, okay, I also want to roll. Where did I put the dice? Oh, they're right here. Okay, maybe I need some glasses. So let's roll the Astro dice and see what we have here. We have first house, we have Jupiter, and we have Leo. I think that Jupiter and Leo is the zodiac association for the Six of Wands. So maybe someone here is like a public figure, or is striving to become a public figure, or is like striving for, yeah, like striving for admiration, striving for validation. But it's interesting. Leo talks about confidence. It talks about being the main character. I feel like it's kind of talking about self-love in the context of this reading. And then we have Jupiter, which is about abundance and blessings. And then the first house, which is about you. It's about who you are. So I feel like this is saying like your true abundance and your true confidence comes from you, me, myself, and I. Yeah. Yeah, Jupiter and Leo, I think, is Six of Wands. And then Eight of Cups is Saturn in Pisces, which might be significant. Maybe one of you guys has Saturn in Pisces. I have Saturn in Pisces. I think if you're born like in the mid 90s, give or take, you could have Saturn in Pisces. But wow, this could also be like a long-term connection, because when Saturn will be in Pisces again in like a couple years. So this could be someone who's going to be around, for a while, or has been around for a while. But let's dive into the tarot portion of this reading now. This is going to be our deep dive into how this person feels about you. Okay, so we're going to start with how they feel about you in their head. Oh, okay. We have the King of Wands and the Six of Wands. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I feel like this is your energy and this is your person's energy, although you could resonate a little bit with this as well. It doesn't have to be completely black and white, like this is 100% you and this is 100% them. If you feel like you resonate with both sides, it's likely a sign of some mirroring going on with how they feel about you in their heart. We have the Ace of Pentacles. How they feel in their soul, we have the Moon. So Pisces energy could be quite significant here. For their intentions towards this connection, we have the Queen of Swords. That's very telling. Yeah, I definitely feel your person's more on this side. And then future actions towards you in the foreseeable future, or in the reasonable future, I think I've been saying. We have the Five of Crystals, which is the Five of Pentacles, and then at the bottom of the deck we have the Queen of Cups, which is same. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word. The same card that showed up here. Okay, this is pretty straightforward, I feel. So I'm gonna start over here with how this person feels about you in their head. And I just want to say right from the get-go, I feel like this person's head and heart are singing quite different songs. I feel like their head tells them one story so that they can feel good about themselves, honestly, with the Six of Wands and with the Jupiter in Leo, and their heart is saying something different. So I'll start off with the King of Wands. When it comes to a relationship reading or a love reading, I do generally see the King of Wands as someone who is like non-committal. And he's very much about like himself and living his own life, which like good for him, because we all have the choice to live our own life and focus on ourselves. But he's very much like, I don't want to be tied down. I value my freedom. I want to do whatever I want. I don't want to answer to anybody. He's professing that kind of energy, you know? And the King of Wands is also like, just as a person, he can often indicate someone who like wants to be their own boss, who wants to be a leader, who wants to be self-employed. I feel like this person is likely striving to be some kind of public figure or like be very, very successful, or to have their own business, which again is amazing. I'm just a little bit concerned about their like reasons behind it, but that can always be healed. So I'm not saying that their pursuits themselves are wrong or anything like that. But I think that the way their head describes it is like, oh, I can't be in a relationship right now because I'm like married to the hustle, or I'm married to the money, or like there's so many of my own things that I want to do for myself. I can't be tied down by a relationship, which like if that's really how someone feels, that's obviously their prerogative and they should do what feels good. But I think that their heart is saying something different, and that's why I'm a little bit concerned, I guess. Because in their heart, this person really wants to be with you. This is someone who wants to make an offer to you. this is someone who wants things to move to the next level with you. You know, we have an ace, which talks about new beginnings. We had a 1 as your middle energy. So like new beginnings, wanting to manifest something with you. And the Ace of Pentacles means that this person wants to offer you something real and something tangible. So they don't just want to give you intentions. They don't just want to give you words. They don't just want to give you feelings. They want to give you something that you can count on. So they want to give you a real commitment, or they want to bring value to your life, because the Ace of Pentacles is also about like new abundance or new value coming in. So, you know, this person doesn't want to just give you any old offer. They want to offer you something that really enriches your life and makes your life better and makes it more valuable. So I think, you know, their head is spinning it in a way, you know, that makes them come out on top, or that makes them feel like proud, you know, so that there's some kind of glory in them, like pursuing this over love or pursuing this over a connection. But what's really going on, it looks like, with this Ace of Pentacles and with the moon here is like, I don't feel worthy of love, but I keep putting my worth out of reach with these pursuits. And I keep saying like, I just have to hustle a little bit more and then I'll be worthy. I just have to earn a little bit more. I just have to prove myself a little bit more and then I'll be worthy. But I'm unconsciously always putting that out of reach, because it's like I keep postponing it. I keep postponing my happiness, or I keep avoiding making myself vulnerable. And I think deep down in this person's heart, they probably know that that's what they're doing. I think they have this intuitive nature just like you. But, you know, their head is kind of, you know, we have this fixed energy with Leo and Jupiter, which likes to really blow things up out of proportion. You know, first house can also talk about like the ego and how you present yourself. So this person could kind of like blow up their ego as a defense mechanism, or like to not address their fears, or to not address what's making them feel insecure. So I feel like their head is a little bit stubborn with this narrative. And again, like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being, you know, dedicated to the pursuit of your career and wanting to live for yourself, but I just wonder if that's really what's going on here. And I think that they're essentially dangling a carrot in front of their own face, like dangling their own happiness and their own feeling of worth in front of their face, such that it's like just always out of reach. But they can trick themselves into thinking like, I'm almost there. But I don't think they'll ever really fully feel that satisfaction until they realize that that carrot that they've been looking for was always inside of them. And it's interesting that we have the moon here for how this person feels about you in their soul. I think that, you know, from a soul level, this person is very aware of the phase that they're going through. Just like I feel like you are very aware of the phase that this person is going through. It's like they need to go through this experience to understand that the real prize was never outside of them, or that the real value was never outside of them. I think you're aware that this is what's going on, and I think that their soul is also very aware that this is what's going on. So in many ways, I feel like what you're going through right now, it was meant to happen. It's part of the learning experience. I think that you guys really know this, and probably this part of the reading is just like confirmation. But yeah, their soul knows what is going on. So probably if you're in communication with this person's higher self, and you're receiving messages from this person's higher self, probably what you hear from them, and then, you know, what you get from this person in the 3D is very different, which I know can be kind of frustrating. You know, being able to access someone in a higher dimension like that, and being able to access their soul when the 3D person is a little bit out of touch with that, it's like simultaneously very validating and simultaneously kind of frustrating. But so if you guys, I don't know, I feel like most of you guys are really embodying this energy, and maybe you're over that part of the connection where you were really frustrated about it and you're just like letting go and letting things unfold as they should. If you guys struggle to embody this energy, then I hope that this could be your guidance, that it's okay to let go and allow things to unfold naturally, and know that, you know, this person is on their own journey just as you have been on your own journey, and that they will learn the lessons that they need to learn in the right time for them. Now, when it comes to this person's intentions towards you, at least at this point, at the time that you are watching this video, it doesn't look like they have intentions to make a move towards you right now, because with the Queen of Swords here, this actually is indicating that they might feel a little bit intimidated by you, which I think is very interesting, because if this story that the head was telling, if this story that they've made up in their head was really true, why would they feel intimidated by you? Wouldn't they feel, if this was really how they felt, they might actually feel like they're better than you, or like, oh, I don't need you, or something like that, you know, be in more of a prideful energy. But when we look into their heart and soul, we actually see that it's a little bit of the opposite going on. And it's very ironic that I think you're somebody who like doesn't place a lot of value on these kinds of superficial things, or on other people's idea of success or other people's idea of abundance. I feel like you're very much in tune with your own higher self and your own soul, and you're living a life that works for you, and like you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. And so I just think it's ironic that like you don't, well, it's not ironic, it actually makes a lot of sense, but you know, you're someone who doesn't place a lot of value, I think, on the things that this person is pursuing so much right now, and yet they're intimidated by you, and yet it's like they really care what you think about them. So that just confirms to me even further that like deep down in their heart and soul, they probably know that this isn't it. Like whatever they're trying to pursue here, like this isn't it. But you know, it's an attachment. It's something that's hard to let go of. It's a hard habit to break, I think. But you know, if you guys have like let go and you're just going with the flow in this connection right now, they might be perceiving that as like, oh, you're not interested in them anymore, or you moved on from them, or you don't want to talk to them. Maybe there was a cutting off that happened here with the Queen of Swords, because it can be indicative of that as well. Maybe they can't reach out to you right now, but there is that feeling of them not having intentions to reach out at this time because they feel like they can't. They might feel that you've like distanced yourself a little bit, or like I said, they feel a little bit intimidated by you, or feel like you're not interested in them, or something like that. With the Five of Pentacles here indicating their future actions towards you, I might have to take a clarifier for this one, because there's a couple different ways that you can interpret the Five of Pentacles. It's interesting that the Queen of Cups came out as the bottom of the deck energy though, because, you know, one meaning of the Five of Pentacles is like material lack or financial lack. And in this case, it could be indicating that realization that like, oh, like placing my value in these things is never going to fully bring abundance. And then with the Queen of Cups being about like our emotions, our spirituality, our love, maybe this is like the realization that this is where their true happiness and fulfillment lies. I just looked at the bottom of the deck here and we have the Three of Wands. So I do think that maybe this is hinting at like, you know, being able to overcome this, because the Three of Wands is about opening your mind, broadening your horizons, thinking outside of the box, almost like they're thinking outside of their programming and they're challenging themselves to a new perspective. The number 3 can also talk about, yeah, like seeing things from a new perspective, and stepping out of your comfort zone. So let's take a look at the final oracle cards. and see if we can piece things together. Oh, I also want to mention the Three of Wands is equivalent to the Sun in Aries. So someone could have an Aries Sun or Aries season could be significant. But let's take a look at these oracle cards now. So the first card that we have is Rapture, sensuality, love, devotion, romance, ecstasy, and pleasure. It's interesting because with that red dragon, I was really picking up on some like hot and heavy passion going on between the two of you. This could be indicating that your next encounter will be very passionate in nature, that your next encounter could be a physical one, or it could just be indicating that this person has been thinking about you a lot in that way, or with, you know, this moon energy here, possibly dreaming about you in that way. We have presence, awareness, attention, reality, connection. I like that we have the number 44 here because this is a number that makes me think you are highly protected, you are being watched over, and most importantly, that everything is happening exactly as it should right now. I think that you guys, and maybe you guys have had a similar journey, but what I'm seeing is both of your spiritual journeys unfolding. And they might look a little different. They might be happening in different timing, but they're happening in a way that is best for each of you individually. And so the number 44 really means like you're on the right path and nothing has gone wrong. And I think the reason I felt so much peace and like maturity and wisdom from this energy over here is because I think that you guys have realized that, like, just because things might look a little bit differently than what my ego expected, that doesn't mean I have to go in and try to rush things or go in and try to force things or try to change things. I think that you guys have really like come to peace or made your peace with the way things are unfolding, and you understand that, you know, everything is unfolding for the right reasons. And I do think that in time you could be led to a really wonderful union with this person. You know, with these intertwining dragons, it almost reminds me of like, you know, in the Two of Cups, there's like the lion head at the top of the card, and then there's like the tails intertwining. I think there's snakes maybe in the Two of Cups card, but these tails intertwining really reminded me of that. And I think that this is really your spiritual team just encouraging you to enjoy the present moment, which I think that you guys are very good at doing. So basically, not waiting for developments to happen in this connection to start feeling happy, and to just enjoy what you have in your life right now, and to find gratitude for every day, and, you know, to keep yourself busy with doing the things that you love. I feel like maybe this is not a time for this connection or this person to be like at the forefront of your life or to be so heavy on your mind, because the Knight of Pentacles does indicate someone who's moving pretty slowly. And I think that if you were to like check up on this person constantly or be thinking about them constantly, it could be very frustrating. And, you know, you guys being in the water energy, in the cups energy, this is very much about going with the flow. But I also want to point out that this is a crown chakra card. So I feel like the more you connect to your psychic gifts and the more you connect to your higher self, the more this is something that will come very naturally to you. We have chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. So there's a lot of emphasis on you guys having a very, very powerful, physical bond, but I feel like it's also matched by a spiritual bond. Again, like at the very start of this reading, I felt like somebody, and maybe it was just a few of you, somebody might have been worried, like, you know, is this really like love, or is this really a spiritual connection, or am I just really in my feelings because the physical attraction is so strong, or our physical like chemistry and compatibility is so strong? And I feel like it's both. Honestly, like I do think that you have a beautiful emotional and spiritual bond, but like if you're trying to be patient, like it doesn't help if you're really physically attracted, and it doesn't help if the physical chemistry is like chef's kiss. So that could definitely be, you know, if anything was making you a little bit frustrated or impatient, I feel like the physical bond that you guys have could definitely add to that. And maybe your spiritual team just wants to validate you in that and let you know, like, it's okay. You know, you can be this wise spiritual being, but you're also still human. I don't know if maybe some of you guys, this might be more like specifically for some people, but maybe you felt like you should abstain from being with this person, or you shouldn't be with this person in that way. And maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay to be with them in that way. I don't know. It's a lot of like passionate messages coming up, and I feel this like a reassuring energy that it's okay. It's okay to feel attracted in that way. It's okay to enjoy yourself in that way. Like you don't have to feel bad about it, or yeah. Ooh, we have your hard work is paying off with the new moon in Capricorn. So I definitely do feel a promising energy from this connection. I do feel like your efforts and your patience would be worth it. Again, this is just a matter of both of you like going through the cycles that you need to go through in terms of your compatibility together, and in terms of like the beauty of this connection and the purity of this connection. I honestly only have positive feelings, and I feel like what could be causing friction is just like if you're at different places in your spiritual journey, but you'll both get there eventually. Like your hard work will pay off eventually. This one is really just like a matter of time and a matter of patience. And you know, I do feel called in these types of readings to say like I can't tell you what to do, and you know, the choice that you make at the end of the day is obviously up to you. But I hope that I could at least confirm to you that if you did, you know, hold on for this connection and you did wait for this connection, that it would be fruitful and that your patience would be worth it in the end. We also have Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. Yes, I feel like I don't even really need to interpret this one, because this is exactly what we've been talking about. Like you both have your respective journeys, and you're both at different places in your journeys. And you know, you're not like better or worse than each other. Like this is the struggle that they're going through. You might have gone through it just at a different time in your life, or you might have gone through it in a different area of your life. And there's probably things that you're struggling through right now that are different in nature, because that's literally just the process of being human. We're never fully healed. We're never fully evolved. So it's like we're both going through our struggles. They're just different, or they're just happening at different stages, and that's okay. And I feel like, you know, this 44, it also reminds me of death, because the death card being card number 13, that reduces to 4. So that's about the natural order of things, the natural cycle of things. It's also about release. So it's like, let's allow ourselves to go through these cycles without judging ourselves, and with compassion for each other. So for the final card here, this is the Angel Answers Oracle card. This is a deck that, you know, provides answers to any questions that you have. So I thought we could do a little something for this last card if you feel called to. If not, that's fine. But if you feel called to, think of a question that you have regarding this person, this connection, or really anything. It can be about anything, and then we will flip over the card to reveal your answer. So if you're ready and you want to do this part, think of your question, and the answer is remain positive. So this would likely be, if you asked a yes or no question, this would likely be a yes, or actually whatever you want, because sometimes we don't want a yes, but it would be the answer that you wanted to get. I should just put it that way. You know, stay optimistic, the outcome that you want. Yeah, it doesn't even have to be a yes or no question. I don't know what I'm talking about, but basically it's stay optimistic, because the outcome that you want, the answer that you want, will be coming to you. So Group number 4, these are all the messages that I have for you, so I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel will be linked down below for you as well. Group number 4, I am sending lots of love to you and to your person and to your spiritual team who is helping you through this journey, and I thank them for facilitating this reading, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!